Nice feints here. What we expect from Collier, what we saw from him at middleweight was him. Oh, big right hand on the temple there. And controlled power as well, Tom Aspinall, just checking his range and his distance. Very, very quick for a heavyweight. Good head movement. And only 9 fights in his record as well. I think the problem for Tom Aspinall a lot of the time was not only finding trade. Oh! What a finish!
That's it!
Wow!
Knockout for Tom Aspinall in his debut!
So slick. Beautiful right hand. Beautiful right hand. Clean. I mean, this is what we've got to expect from Tom Aspinall from his career moving forward. Keep your eyes on this young man. He is something special.
The Black Samurai Bordeaux versus Tom Aspinall. The fight clock is brought to you by the US Army. Aspinall wearing the red, Bordeaux in the black. Interestingly, the MMA factory in Paris have prepared for Tom Aspinall before they could say nothing but positive things about him. A lot of respect. They're 0-1 against him. What the way they're moving.
Let's weigh them again. The only reason I can tell they're
you pick them up.
It's the reverberations through the canvas is the only way we can tell. The speed they're moving at. Ooh. Spinning attacks from Bordeaux.
Yeah, you talked about that, Paul. He likes the way spinning like a spinning top.
Right off the top, just spinning around.
Why not?
Well, why not? That's the unpredictability with the, Tom Aspinall being as clean of a boxer and clean of a striker as he is. You got to throw some things that get him off his game, and then maybe you can add in the more clean strikes and come with your boxing.
Bordeaux very much a kill or be killed style of fighter. I mean, it hasn't always gone his way, which is why he's got a mark on his record. But he's getting creative. But Aspinall charging forward.
I will say one thing about the MMA factory, there's a lot of big guys on a small mat. They clash often. So clinch work, short range fighting is going to be a speciality, but this is not ideal for him.
Yeah, this was a very smart move for Tom to take him down when things are getting chaotic like that. If you've got that in your back pocket to be able to get the fight to the ground and look for control.
How impressive does he look here as well? He's got a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. There he is.
From Tom
Double quick again. He goes 2-0 with the UFC. Delivers on that betting line. Not happy with his performance, however.
Well, I think that's what sets him apart, right? Is that even after that, after 2 first-round finishes yet again, still all first-round finishes for Tom Aspinall on his record.
Fight's on. Aspinall in the red, Arlovski in the black.
Well, as we know, Tom Aspinall, his fights so far have not gone very long. And if you're Andrei Arlovski and you have the experience in the octagon that he does, and you see the evolution in his game, how elusive he is these days, you think he's going to try and take his time, but right there, went in with the blitz. See Tom using some little feints. Oh, see that right hand? That got through, that got Andrei's attention straight away. Andrei's got to be careful. He kind of closed his eyes a little there. You cannot hesitate. Sorry, Brendan.
No.
Look at Tom, backing him up perfectly, using the little feints, using the footwork to back him up against the fence. That gives him nowhere to hide, nowhere to run. He's forced to exchange in a firefight when you cannot escape.
Team Cowbon is the team where Tom Aspinall trains back in Liverpool, England. Of course, the training home of Darren Till, also Mike Grundy in the UFC.
Yeah, we saw on the training footage there, because we know Darren Till's watching. Darren Till was taking a little hiding there of Tom Aspinall. Shout out, Darren. Tom looks so confident in there. So confident. He's got that lead hand low, using little feints. And this is officially the longest UFC fight of Tom Aspinall's career. Oh, he connected! Wow! Right as I say that, this could be the end.
Together.
Look at this.
In trouble here.
Look at the hand speed.
Or Arlovski's going
Andre
in.
needs to go.
Fight back.
This could be
Aspinall's trying to put it all together. Arlovski just covered up eating body shots.
Mark Smith gave Arlovski a lot of chances there.
And you see some damage on the face of Arlovski after that flurry.
I mean, you see the hand speed? That was insane. For a big guy, this size, this weight, to move like that.
For Arlovski, a little damage to the nose means the fight has just started.
Yeah, that thing's been broken about 1 million times.
But now wearing the pressure of Aspinall, well, if those were not body shots, perhaps it would have been over, but Aspinall kept going to the body. You know, and if
he's having a little argument with the referee. The ref says, let go of the cage. He's like, I haven't got it. What are you talking about?
Fight for head position here and arm position.
I asked Tom about his grappling the other day. I said, you know, if it hits the ground, how is that? And he said, what? I said, no, you're grappling. He said, what's grappling? Of course,
that's one way to approach it.
If you spend any time with Darren Till, you're going to develop a sense of humor. So I think he's joking there. His dad runs the jiu-jitsu program down at Team Carbon, so he knows what he's doing on the ground.
His father, Andrew Aspinall, is with him here tonight in the corner, as he is with all of Tom's fights. Under 2 minutes to go, round one.
This is good for Arlovski, though. It gives him a chance to get back into this fight. Landed a shot there. Tom was able to turn it, but as I say, you know, Arlovski now is recovering from that barrage of punches. He's got a little bit of damage on his face, but, you know, that's not going to trouble him. He's a long, super experienced veteran of this game.
How about Aspinall not burning himself out by just repeating with the punches? Kind of grappled a little bit.
Yeah.
Taking his time.
I mean, we didn't have a punch count on that combination earlier, but there was a lot of punches thrown. I don't know, 25 or so.
Let's go, Tom.
A lot of punches.
Coming up on a minute to go, first round. And after that exchange, it's mostly played out in this position right here, with Aspinall forcing a clinch along the fence.
You know, if you think back to the fight between Alistair Overeem and Walt Harris, remember Walt Harris came hot out the gate, threw a massive combination, had Overeem hurt, but then the old veteran, who's been there a million times, knows how to react in those situations, ended up turning the tables and getting a finish of his own in the second round, I think it was. Yep. So, you know, these old guys, never count them out.
Right.
As I said, you can't buy experience. It has to be earned, and it is so valuable in a situation like this.
Back to the center they go as Arlovski finds his way off the fence. Final 20 seconds of the first round. Oh! Right from Arlovski.
Both guys connect there. Heavy shots.
Aspinall still moving the head. Another kick up top from Arlovski. Final seconds of round number one. Round two coming up. Round number two here at heavyweight between Tom Aspinall and Andre Arlovski. The corner of Arlovski was encouraged that they believe they might have the fresher fighter here in round two. Nice body shot from Arlovski.
Yeah, they were happy about the amount of energy that Tom expelled there, and he certainly did. But he's a young man, he trains hard, he's very motivated to win this fight. So I'm sure he can go 3 rounds hard. However, this is uncharted territory for Tom because, as we know, he typically ends his fights very, very quickly. Now, when you connect with somebody as many times as Tom did, and the man stands there, that sends a message, hold on, this guy isn't going to fall like the rest. And, you know, Tom's a young man, he's very confident. But some people, you never know, that can affect their confidence, their psychology, their approach to the game. It's like, whoa, hold on a minute. I'm used to people falling over when I hit them. What is happening? And there it is, look at that, it's over.
It goes right under the chin, a tap quickly for Arlovski. Tom Aspinall, submission victory in round two. Once he started to end it, it was over quickly.
I mean, that's a great way to mix things up. I don't think Andre was expecting that beautiful blast double. Andre turned to try and get back to his feet. In doing so, gave up his back. And once he had that locked in, it was over. It was quick because it was deep. He didn't even need the hooks. I mean, look at the size of the man.
Lights on.
All right, tonight's fight clock is brought to you by the U.S. Army. That is Tom Aspinall out of the southpaw stance to open in red. Sergey Spivac is in black.
You can see the agility from Tom straight away. Nice feint, closing the gap, pushing Sergey backwards.
And when Sergey Pavlovich was unable to get to Las Vegas, you had to sort of wonder aloud if they could find a heavyweight on short notice to step in and face a guy like Tom Aspinall. But Sergey Spivac, understanding the opportunity, signed on the dotted line.
Yeah, exactly. Did himself a lot of favors there. And that's a nice one, too, from Tom. And he said as well on the flip side, listen, I'm here in Vegas. I want to fight. I put all this work in. I want to have a training camp, I want to get paid, and I want to continue to rise through the rankings. And that's something he spoke to me about. You know, he said, obviously, last time he beat Andre Arlovski, who's a former champion, he said he doesn't want to ascend that quickly. You know, he wants to take his time. He said, as I say, he's very humble. He said, I'm not ready for those names like an Ngannou or you know, Stipe Miocic, those people like that. Or the great DC, if he was still around.
Come on.
He said, but I've just got to take my time. But unfortunately, you start beating guys like Spivac and Arlovski. You got no choice, buddy. You're in the deep end.
Another top 15 win it would be if he can get past Spivac. Right now, Aspinall's doing a good job of feinting. Got Spivac on his heels. Sergey needs to try to go forward to initiate the wrestling.
No denying the confidence of Tom Aspinall, but there's also a definite humility there. He's had a lot of quick finishes. He says he's never fought in front of 20,000 people. He doesn't know how he would fare. So, to your point, Michael, this man is very aware of self, and there's a definite humbleness to him as well.
Aspinall's got some fast hands, man.
Fast.
He's really fast, really agile.
And his background was jiu-jitsu. You know, when he first saw UFC 70, which I was on, by the way, but the main event, who was it? Oh, no, it was Andre Arlovski.
Did you take somebody down?
No. But he saw Andre Arlovski.
How many takedowns you had in your career?
He thought, wow, that inspired him. I thought he was going to say me. But he said, but he was teaching jiu-jitsu privates back then when he was just a kid. You know, so he's got very fast hands.
Still all the rage! Wow! What a moment for the budding heavyweight contender!
Wow!
Told you.
Bisping, I told you he was good. Since before the fight, I was like, this dude's really good.
It's not what he said.
You're so crazy. You're so crazy, Bisping.
Man, how about that?
This fight clock is brought to you by Modelo.
Tom wasting absolutely no time.
Never does he, Michael?
Nah, he's a fast guy. Fast starter. Not so much a fast talker, though, unless his fists do that. And there it is! 1, 2, 3.
Unbelievable speed for a man of his size. He was a little guy growing up, and he's carried that agility and speed with him, that welterweight style, they call it at Cowbomb.
He's certainly not intimidated by the moment, being the aggressor early. There's a nice check for Volkov.
And wonderful timing.
The entire octagon shook.
Mixing his arts early is Tom Aspinall.
Took him down with absolute authority, and he's in a great position. Side control with the right underhook.
Smart to pull Volkov away from that fence a little bit too.
Yeah, gonna chip away with elbows. If he can get a dominant position here, I mean, we could have an early night.
Volkov looking for a lockdown on the right leg of Aspinall, but he's not really stretching him out at the moment.
I mean, they are right here, just feet away in front of us.
Cut already opened up on the side of the head there of Volkov.
Dropping those elbows.
Big pressure early from Aspinall.
Volkov's going to try and get full guard back. He's going to try and get back to his feet. He's got the underhook on the left side. He's going to get on the right elbow and try and start to build a base. But Tom is having absolutely none of it. There's another elbow.
Aspinall giving him a shove at the moment. Huge punches here from the Manchester man.
Volkov's got no answer for this right now.
No, this is just explosive ground and pound from Tom right now. And you see the head of Volkov starting to really leak here. He's got to be careful trying to get up from here.
He's got a Kamaru grip.
He's going to pull that over to the other side here, but he's got it in deep. Volkov needs to be very careful here. One mistake, this fight's over.
Tom backs out of it.
Let it go. Knee to the midsection. There's the elbows. Nice job by Volkov, though. Back to his feet.
His head at him.
He's like, come on, bro. You think that's all I got?
Oh, right hand from Volkov.
One thing that Volkov said, and I'm not sure if I agree with it, but he said, Tom hasn't been to deep waters. I have many times. I believe that's a disadvantage for Tom. I don't know if it is, but that certainly seems to be the approach or the mindset for Volkov, that if he can get Tom, and that's a big if he can get him to the later rounds, he'll start to take over. But that if is getting bigger and bigger by the second.
Still have 2 minutes in this first round.
Bit of a slant.
Oh, nicely done there by Aspinall.
Little smile from Volkov as well. It's the ear as well. He split the ear of Volkov open. At least that's what it looked like.
Oh, unbelievable head movement by Aspinall.
That's how you do it. You slip the shot, you use their forward momentum against you, you drive through. I mean, the guy is so technically good. He's listening to his corner, looking up, waiting for instruction. As I said, he's so calm and composed. And now this is trouble.
Straight arm lock attempt here from Aspinall. He's done it! What a moment for Tom Aspinall! That is the biggest win of his career. And he is loving every second of it.
Well, rightly so. We've got a few Modelos flying around. People are chucking beers in the air, celebrating early.
This fight clock is brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka. If you needed reminding, Aspinall is in the white, Tybura is in the red.
One thing we know about Tom Aspinall, he's very quick for a heavyweight. And he gets quick finishes. He almost got one there. The first kick that he threw.
That knee must be all right.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I think so.
Let's test it out.
Tybura, as I said on the walk, came in 11 pounds lighter. I said
Still looks huge, doesn't
deal
he?
with the speed of Tom though. He said not necessarily, but it will help.
Marcin Tybura is a very, very tough out. Not many
Look at the
fighters
hands. Look
good.
at the speed. Sorry, John. Tom is on fire. Look how loose he is, dancing around, light on the feet.
Good
That was a
front kick.
punishing front kick.
They paid attention to absolutely everything, have the Aspinall camp.
He's got Tybura swinging at fresh air.
And Tom's so worried about the hands now. If he wanted to level change, drive through with the double leg, it's right there.
Oh, nice elbow. Big shilling. It's a fairy tale return to Tom Aspinall. Well. He makes quick work of Marcin Tybura, and not many people can do that.
Made it look easy, John.
Oh, he blew right through him.
Unbelievable. I didn't expect it to be like that.
All right, Sergey Pavlovich in red, Tom Aspinall in white. UFC Interim Heavyweight Championship on the line.
And if Tom thinks he's just going to take him down, Sergey's working with Steve Mocco down in Florida, one of the better heavyweight wrestling coaches in the entire country and around the world.
We talk about Pavlovich's size, but DC, Tom Aspinall walked into the fighter meeting and you said to him, man, you are enormous.
Well, he looks so much bigger in person, right? But it's because he's a little taller,
Right.
long and lean for the heavyweight division. That's not what you used to seeing. Oh, he hurt him.
Sergey attacked him early.
Yeah, Tom took it though.
But he knows.
Oh, he's on notice now.
Yeah, he's on notice.
Toyo Tires, official tire of UFC.
You can't make any mistakes with Sergey.
Aspinall's father, Andy, in his corner. He's been at essentially every training session since Tom was 8 years old.
Those leg kicks will pay dividends.
Tom Aspinall! That'll do it! Tom Aspinall has done it! He is the UFC Interim Heavyweight Champion of the world! The UK has a heavyweight champion, Tommy Aspinall!
What? That was sensational. That was sensational.
Oh, he's the real deal.
Tom Aspinall is the real deal. My goodness.
And
Look
there
at Michael Bisping.
is
Look at
Michael Bisping.
I told you, mate.
Michael Bisping won his UFC title, of course, on 2 weeks' notice. He believes Tom Aspinall eventually will be the best heavyweight of all time. Tom Aspinall, world
fortune teller
champion.
now.
Yes, he does.
Man. Tom Aspinall, interim heavyweight champion.
Curtis Blades is in blue. Tom Aspinall in the black and gold, befitting a champion. And we are underway.
Aspinall, without question, in the best shape of his life.
Early right hand lands for the underdog Blades.
Curtis is letting his hands go early.
He has worked so hard on his reads as a boxer. Early clinch situation now.
2 punches landed in there.
Yeah.
One by Aspinall, one by Blades. Blades landed a nice left hook there. Aspinall landed a right hand.
Kind of looked like Tom was going to go for the takedown. Maybe just to prove a point.
Yep. Tom can't be reckless, and Curtis can't see the big reactions.
Yeah, that's
Curtis
nice combination
Curtis
by but the right sinks it down. Aspinall. Blades nearly down and out early. That's it. It's over. Aspinall retains the throne. Unbelievable. The power is different. The finishing instincts are just different. Wow.
You know, I was thinking the first entry by Aspinall might have been a bit reckless, but I think he just knew that if he can touch Blades, he can put him out.
No man alive. I'm telling you right now, unbelievable.
And still, Tom Aspinall getting it done by first round knockout tonight.
What you do very well is you circle off and then re-engage.
There's a lot of stuff that nobody knows about, which is why I don't want to speak about it too much. You've got to keep the cards close to your chest. If you get a 6'9" guy who's going to get you in this position here, being the size that both of us,
you're going to get in trouble. Welcome to Tom Aspinall's Fight Lab. I'm Adam Catterall. It is a pleasure to be in your company. This week we are heading to TNT Sports box office for the heavyweight championship of the world. I haven't been able to say that for a long time. This man's going to talk about himself, aren't you?
I'll leave that to you, boys.
Fair enough. Paul Craig's going to be getting stuck in as well. This is your UFC 321 breakdown. Here we are, finally, getting to speak about a Tom Aspinall fight.
It's about time. It's about time.
I know, mate. Listen, exciting times for everybody and a little bit of a treat for everybody at home as well. It's TNT Sports box office. Prelims get going from 5, main card from 7. But here's the Brucey bonus. You don't have to fight in the middle of the night, son. Yeah?
No jet lag.
There you go. There you go. It's there for everybody.
I'm going to be selfish. As a fan watching this, prime time.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Perfect.
To see everybody's UK favourite fighter,
Yep.
man, this is perfect here.
I love it.
Perfect, mate. There you go. And like you say, it's been a long time. You've been out for just over a year now. You get to get back in there and defend the Undisputed crown. We're going to mix up this preview, right? Because I can't have you previewing yourself, mate. That'll be weird. Paul's obviously going to play your role in a minute. But before we do, this fight has been talked about, scheduled on a couple of occasions, fallen off on a couple of occasions. We're finally here. Is it a surprise that it is Ciryl that is the man standing across from you?
I think, first and foremost, you've got to look at the stats. You're a big stats guy.
Yeah.
Got the champion, #1 contender.
Love
That's what we like seeing.
Yes.
That is what I, as a champion, want to do, is I want to fight the next best guy. I don't want to fight... I mean, I'll always fight whoever the UFC tell me. I've always done that. I always will continue to do that. But ultimately, the champion should fight the #1 contender, in my opinion. I am the champion. I'm fighting the #1 contender, which is Ciryl Gane. And it's going to be a good one, for sure.
Well, the other little bit, mate, I don't know if you saw this, but we were recently in Paris.
Oh, I was there.
You got booed, didn't you, mate?
I got booed. You know what?
Got booed?
I
Pantomime.
was expecting it. Got a lot of love on the streets, but they understood the assignment. He's French, I'm not. Let's boo the non-French guy. And I was all right with it.
It would be the same if he came over to the UK. It would be the exact same
story.
Yeah.
I think so,
He would get booed.
Our good mate Nick Pete actually started those boos. He was enjoying himself full pantomime.
I bet he was. But something that we can say about Ciryl Gane, he has the advantage on arms. Look at them. They're fantastic on that picture. I need to up my game.
He lifts well.
He looks fantastic.
Mr. Craig, what do you see?
Is it going to be weird someday telling you what you're doing
We're going to
right?
see, because me and Paul, we have trained together a bit in the past, I want to see his analysis of it. This is interesting.
We have. So, your body of work, it's never went the distance, which is good. And you're doing everything well, so it's very hard to look at, if I'm fighting you, I'm going to say, right, Tom's doing this wrong. It's very hard when he's doing everything right, and he's putting people away very, very quickly. Like, your ability to not allow him not to get close to you, because he's looking for these judo throws, and then your ability, head in the pocket, swim in and deliver some big shots, starting with the knee here, right up the middle. Boom, opens up for him to drop his hand, drop that elbow, resulting in him falling.
Does this feel weird?
A little bit weird.
Listen, it feels weird for me to do this, but these dirty boxing exchanges are where you're getting the victory, and I think come the Saturday night in the octagon, that's going to be one of your keys. Your distance management is incredible. Your ability to maintain that distance and that speed. You don't go back in straight lines, you're circling off. If you want to come over here, and we'll run through a
full demo.
Oh, we'll go for
a full demo.
Paul, are you Tom?
I'm Tom.
Right.
So anytime the opponent moves forward, you're always light in your toes, but you're not only moving back, because if you move back too much, you're back against the octagon. What you do very well is you circle off and then re-engage, and then you're looking for these shots. And we've seen you getting loads of victories with this. Your ability to see what your opponent's doing, ring IQ,
Volkov.
I was thinking Volkan Ozdemir.
That's your opponent's, mate.
I know. He throws that high kick, you slip back, you take it very, very lightly, but you're anticipating this backhand, and as the backhand comes through and he squares his leg up, he almost throws himself
he
in
goes
it.
this way, yeah.
So then it results in you, boom, getting in nice and tight, getting him on the ground, and then you're in an area where you feel nice and comfortable, resulting in you getting that straight armbar. I think that, for me, is a victory that's going to age beautifully, because if we look at what he's done previously, it's incredible, and we're going to break that down later, but that ability for you to see that shot after leaning all the way back out of the kick, changing your direction and getting nice deep in the hips, elevating them and taking them down.
Look at that, eh? It's like you've just been in a doctor's chair there, hasn't it? Just been psychoanalyzing everything that you're doing.
These are your moments where you explode in, deliver huge shots, and the guys kind of deal with the power and explosive ability. For a long time, we've seen heavyweights who just like to hit hard. If we get inside, and we're inside and it comes to a trading war, it's a lottery, whereas you don't play the lottery. What you do very well is you're in and you're out, and you deliver these shots and then you're away back out by the time they've even registered that you're in. Beautiful moment. One of my favourite moments.
Got a lot of tape on you, haven't they?
You have.
Yeah.
Same again. There's that double again to press him up against the cage, and you get a squeeze. You slip, and then you anticipate that backhand, slip, boom. His foot drags in, and you capitalise on it, pulling it to the mat, automatically going to that side control position, where you find yourself in that straight armbar and resulting in the victory. But as I said, I believe this victory is going to age beautifully.
Yeah, it's aging well so far. I think he's been on a 4 or 5 win streak
since.
So
and he's on this card. We'll talk about him.
No, he actually lost against Ciryl, but I thought
he won it. I think the vast majority, including Dana White, believed that he also won it. Yeah. So this submission, beautiful. Not a lot of these in the UFC. A straight armbar, beautiful. Your footwork is beautiful. The foot comes in, you're all the way back, you're out, you do the call. It's this back leg here. It travels in, and you capitalise on that so beautifully to drag him down into your world. And a lot of people haven't seen enough of your jiu-jitsu, but it's super dangerous, and it's where I believe the fight can be won on Saturday night.
We're trying to keep it a secret here, pal.
But it's this dirty boxing where you're leaning on your opponent and your ability to manipulate them on the deck. That's where I believe this fight's going to be won. But there's another man standing across the octagon from you, and his skill set is super high as well.
He's good.
You've said on several occasions that your biggest trait is the ability to make those high-level decisions in the blink of an eye.
Yep.
That's kind of what you're referring to there, in those particular moments, those exchanges, making those decisions like that, which is unusual in the heavyweight division.
It is, and there's a lot of stuff that nobody knows about, which is why I don't want to speak about it too much, because I am aware that Ciryl Gane and his team will be watching this video. Yes. So you got to keep the cards close to your chest. No, but there's a lot of things that I do well that a lot of people haven't seen and they've not quite clicked onto yet. So that I think all that stuff is like a massive advantage for me, is the fact that there isn't that much tape out there. There isn't that much shown about my game that I've still yet to show, and I think for me that's probably my biggest advantage, is the fact that there isn't much footage on me.
There's a lot of what you've just been saying there regarding Tom that Cyryl's very, very good at as well. Range control, the speed, and all those types of things. Do you want to pick away him?
We can do, definitely.
Go for it then.
We can do. So I think we're talking about Ciryl Gane, obviously. We're talking about myself. Us guys, even though you look at the size of us, 6'4", 6'5", that's 6'5" on a good day. Do you know what I mean? I'm probably 6'4.5", but we're both big guys, both heavy guys, but we don't move like we're big and heavy guys.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that is quite rare at heavyweight. Something that Ciryl does really well is the footwork. So he switches between southpaw and orthodox. Predominantly stands in southpaw, but he does switch. So he comes this way and this way, so that obviously keeps their opponents guessing. But he's super light on his feet here. He'll often do this kind of thing, just as a bit of a distraction, lets his opponents come in, boom, boom, and then he'll go with kicks. He'll throw this from the back, he'll throw the knee up the middle, and something that's really, really underrated is the southpaw jab that he's got. He finds his distance very well and flicks this out a lot.
Yeah.
Boom, and like you were saying, defensively, he's very in and out, so he won't come straight. He won't walk his opponents down this way. He'll constantly be off that centre line, hitting from there and then getting out the way, which is something we'll watch him. We'll watch exactly what he does. Obviously, I have watched a lot of film on him. He is my next opponent, as you said. The fight has been simmering now for about 5-6 years since we first got in the UFC, so we have been on each other's radar for a long time.
I think his range control is really good.
Really, really good. Especially when he's fighting guys, and this is not a knock on Taito Iwasa and people like him.
Yeah.
People who are quite ploddy, coming forward just with hands, he fights really, really well against them. With that long open stance, look, when we talk about this jab, he throws it.
That slap.
Yeah, a lot of it, he does a lot of like range finding kind of stuff here, and then he'll snap the hand down and come like behind this and stepping across, never on the centre line, he always steps across the centre line where he's in the advantage point and his opponent isn't, which is something super high level stuff. Again, moves really, really well for a big guy. But let me just put it out there and say, I don't fight like guys like Taito Iwasa,
yeah,
so it's a little bit different, the puzzle that he's got to solve against me.
I think from a fan point of view, this is such a beautiful matchup on the feet because of, like you've just said, you're two big lads that move very, very different to any other heavyweight that are out there.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's mixed martial arts, so it might not necessarily all play out on the feet, but if it does, from a fan point of view, it's a mouth-watering prospect.
See, as we just spoke about, look, see when he's not coming off the centre line, he'll take a step back, and then look, he cuts an angle, and then comes back in.
It's almost like a check, isn't it?
Yeah, he'll just go,
off.
check off the side, put something back, kick or a punch, look, he cuts the angle there, he's open, boom, he'll throw it in. Really high-level stuff.
That's great, as you're saying, if you're up against an opponent who's looking to march forward.
Definitely.
And throw
and I'm not
haymakers.
that kind of guy. He jabs really well kind of offbeat jabs. So he's not stood here with his hands up and then goes, boom, straight down the line. It's always from here, and he'll snap it down and go, or he'll fake and then come off to the side and go. All super high-level stuff. Boom.
It's a very good jab. It is. Good piston-like jab.
Yeah,
straight bombs.
super athletic guy as well.
Yep.
So 1 minute he's there, the next minute he's over the other side of the octagon. So you've got to be super fit, super sharp against a guy like that, and that is something that we're working on, obviously.
Do you think that his body of work over the last few years is what's going to let him down here? Because he's not been, like, we can say the twos haven't been active.
Paul's trying to drag me into a bit of smack talk here, I think.
No, definitely not smack talk. I just believe that his body of work over, like, you have been active within the gym.
Yeah.
Right, it might not be, but you're sparring with some of the best guys in the world.
Yeah.
Never mind who you're training with. I don't think he's got that.
No, I think he's definitely got a great team. He trains at the MMA Factory in Paris, renowned team, very, very good. My focus has been in the gym and getting better and being the best version of myself that I can be. I don't know if that's what he's doing, but right now I'm focused on being the UFC heavyweight champion and nothing else.
I asked you this question in Paris. For people that haven't seen the answer to it, are you feeling pressure on this one?
Mate, of course. Like, if you're getting in a fist fight in front of millions of people with somebody else, you should be feeling pressure. You should be feeling pressure. The difference is, I think that I do really, really well against pressure. I think that Ciryl is an extremely talented fighter. I think that sometimes the pressure gets a little bit too much for him. It gets too much for everybody at some stage. But I think that I'm one of the people who shine under pressure. Like, somebody told me recently that the elite fighters, it means everything to them, but they do it like it means nothing. And I think that that's the approach that I have really well, is like, this fight means absolutely everything, but I've got to go in there like I don't care about it and put on a great performance. And this is Cyryl's 3rd title shot. And although there's a lot of pressure on me, I think there's also a lot of pressure on him, because if he doesn't win this one, he's probably not going to get a 4th. Do you know what I mean? So it's, there's pressure on both of us, mate. There's a lot of pressure on me, there's a lot of pressure on him, and I think it's an exciting fight all round. He actually did this against me, which I didn't really expect. Is he went leg and then went straight to the body afterwards. And just with the size of him, he can just march you down.
Now, I thought we'd mix it up for UFC 321. The core-main event is obviously the female title fight. Vacant title. Weili stepped up for the super fight with Shevchenko, which we're all extremely excited about. And we've got Mackenzie Dern taking on Jandiroba for that vacant title. No disrespect to them. Great fight. Looking forward to it. But seeing as the heavyweight title fight is on the line, I think it's only fair that we talk about maybe some potential opponents that could happen maybe a little bit further down the line with top contenders. Obviously, a guy that you fought before in Mr. Volkov, taking on Almeida. 2 versus 5 in the heavyweight division. I think the styles are quite obvious to break down, but what do you make of it as a fight?
I mean, this is not an official #1 contender fight, but it's implied.
It's pretty much,
you know what I mean? It's pretty obvious that it's a #1 contender fight. It's about time we got some high-ranked guys fighting each other. Almeida is calling out everyone in the division, which is great. We love that. We love that. And Volkov, I mean, look at the record. Come on. He's had about a million fights.
He's had a few fights.
He's had a few scraps in his day.
How much has he improved since you fought him?
He's looked really good. Like, I knew how good he was when I was fighting him. Do you know what I mean? I knew he's really good. He's the tallest guy in the UFC. He's 6'7". That actually is untrue. He's actually 6'9".
Is he?
I'm putting that out there.
Is he?
Yeah, his manager told me he didn't want to seem like a freak show being 6'9", but he is. He is. He's 6'9". He's really, really tall, really rangy, loads of experience. Done everything that there is apart from winning a UFC heavyweight title. And I think that if he wins this fight and I win my fight, it's going to be a rematch on the card. Yeah, I think so. But I think winner versus winner, either way it goes in both fights. And shall we talk about him, Alexander?
Go for it, mate. Go for it.
I've obviously fought him before. I've shared the octagon with him. Volkov, something that he does really well. Obviously, very tall guy. The distance management is very, very good. But he keeps everyone long, which is. A lot of tall people, they do struggle with keeping people long, but he does it really, really well. He'll just snap from the back, so he switches stances a lot, and he'll just be here. He'll work that snap kick, he'll work the inside kick, he'll work the body kick. He actually did this against me, which I didn't really expect, is he went leg and then went straight to the body afterwards. Really strong, long punches. And just with the size of him, he can just march you down. He'll put that hand out there, and he'll just walk you forward doing this kind of thing, and he really... If Volkov gets off to a good, strong start, this is something that I tried to avoid when we fought, is he'll just keep walking you back in that straight line and just keep picking at you and wearing you down. And obviously, 50 pro fights, man, that's ridiculous. So he uses his experience and his length really, really well. And the guy's just dangerous with those kicks as well. His legs are so long, he's so big and experienced.
The teeps are beautiful.
The teeps.
As you
the
said,
front
so long.
Kind of snap kick to the body is something that...
The ball of the foot.
It's the toes that are getting in, isn't it? Rather
it's just
than
horrible.
Just doing that push.
And these are the things that, as a fighter, knowing that you've got to fight this guy, these are going through your mind a lot before the fight. You're like, I do not want to get kicked through one of those to the body. So when I was fighting him, I was trying to keep off the centre line a lot and keep him kind of moving. Don't let him get that forward. Once he gets that forward pressure, he gets off to a good start and he'll just keep picking at his opponents. He'll just put that right under the ribs.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yep.
And when you want to take 3 or 4 of them, being the size that he is, it's just not very nice. You just don't want to be taking them.
Look at the level of opponent he's doing this to.
He's done it to so many high-level guys, and he just absolutely massacred over him. So
in the small cage, just leathered him.
Yeah, and he has got fast hands as well for a big fella like that. Once he starts unloading on you like that, once he puts you back near the fence, and he gets in a range where he's so long and tall that he can hit you and you can't hit him.
And the combos he's throwing, it's not just one jab or one cross. He's throwing multiple shots, and he's stringing them together very well.
He's good, man.
What do you make of Almeida? Because as an observer, I look at it, and it feels like there's maybe a hole in the striking game.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant grappler. I know that you could talk all day about what this guy can do, because he does it extremely well at heavyweight.
Yep, he's one of the best at heavyweight at doing it. But it's bringing a knife to a gunfight. If you've only got one thing, then it's really hard to get. And I found that myself, moving up the rankings. It's very hard to impose your will of jiu-jitsu on somebody. If we use your example, if I'm going to try and go into a jiu-jitsu battle with you, your footwork's going to be too good for me. You're going to step off to the side, and I'm going to end up looking like I'm chasing these transitions, and I think that's how this fight's going to play out. But incredible back transitions. He's always looking to take that back, always looking to get on it, hold his opponent, and ultimately looking for that submission.
Once he gets them hands together, and he gets you in that kind of, he always goes double, and then he tries to switch straight to the back, but Spivac's onto it. He was not giving him the back, but like you say, he often tries to get to the back and get the hooks in and go for the choke.
This is what he's looking for here. There he is, hooks in, and then he's going to flatten his opponent, and then just land big shots.
He does mix up though with the kicks quite well. Something that I've noticed that he does a lot. This is what I don't. The takedown's very good, right? The takedown's very good that he does when he gets his hands together from the double leg. I don't particularly love the distance that he shoots from on one knee at heavyweight against a big guy like Volkov, because if you come here, Paul, I say, what he does a lot is he does this. So he'll go push kick or snap kick there, and then he will do like that what you just did, which is shoot like really low on one knee, which is fine against guys like his opponent here. If you get a 6'9" guy who's going to get you in this position here, being the size that Volkov is,
you're going to get in trouble.
I think that's going to be, that might be tough for him, man. I don't know. And it takes a lot of energy to do it. Like if he misses a couple against a guy the size of Volkov, it's going to be tough for him to kind of.
He's going to punish him.
He might punish him. We did see it in the Curtis Blades fight. He missed, like he did get a couple, and he slowed down big time after that. So we'll watch what he does. I don't like this low shot though. He does it against the fence, so he's getting away with it against older fellas like the guy he's fighting at the minute. But I don't know if you can do that against Volkov and get away with it, to be honest. But this stuff is really good that he does.
Great position.
This is really, really nice
That
stuff.
handcuff, and then he's just going to try and ride him. That back position again. Beautiful.
Volkov is like contender in that contender realm, whereas in my opinion, Almeida's still in that prospect, untested realm.
This is one that sends him through the ceiling.
If he can win this, if he can go out there and finish Volkov, that's a massive statement for the heavyweight division, and no doubt he'll be next for a title shot.
We kind of need it though in the heavyweight division, don't we?
We need it. Yeah, definitely. I think that would be exciting for everybody if Almeida can go out there, put the beating on Volkov. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's going to be interesting.
I like the outcome where Volkov wins and we have a take two with Tom. I think that's the situation.
Mate,
I like.
I'll absolutely fight him again if I have to, but we've got a big assignment in Ciryl Gane first, so we'll get that out of the way.
And there we have it. That wasn't so painful, was it?
Weren't too bad.
There you go. Thank you very much, Paul, for coming in and giving us full analysis of everything that's going down at UFC 321. Before I tell you how you can tune in to the fights this weekend, there's a documentary that you should be tuning into as well, The Road to Undisputed, about this man. There you go. Look at you big time now, aren't you? Fights at main events, you've got your own documentary. What's next, Sunshine? Cooking show?
Who knows? Who knows? We'll see.
Watch this space. UFC 321 goes down live on TNT Sports box office this weekend, 5 o'clock. That's right, 5 o'clock in the afternoon is when it gets going with the prelims, and then the main card from 7 with the main man against Ciryl Gane in that main event for the UFC Heavyweight Championship of the World. And if you want to check out The Road to Undisputed, it's available for you now on Discovery+. We'll see you at the fights. How frustrating have you found it over last year? Not having a date, not having an opponent, not having a target to work towards?
I mean, that isn't entirely accurate.
Okay.
Now this is an exclusive, coming live on TNT Sport. But there was a lot of times when the UFC would tell me, right, the John Jones fight is happening in 3 months, for example. So we'd start the training camp, the intensity would up, and then the date would get moved. Like that happened like 3 or 4 times, and then eventually he retired. So it wasn't like I was literally sat waiting for the full year. I did think that the fight was going to come. And then everyone's saying, oh, well, why are you waiting? Why are you waiting? I wasn't waiting, I was getting told that the fight was happening, so there's nothing I could really do. My hands were tied completely by the UFC, so...
But is that not even more mentally taxing? Having like the peaks and troughs, rather than just having a straight line to deal with, yeah. You were like that. So is that not even more mentally taxing than it would be if you were just sitting out for a year?
It is. But what it has given me is it's given me a massive opportunity to get better. Yeah. Like, because I'm not just training without a goal. I did think I had a goal a few times that I'm working towards, right. And it didn't materialise, is the word. It didn't materialise. So I did have the intensity of a training camp. I did have the hard sparring. I did have the hard rounds in the gym, the hard grapples, the strength and conditioning, the technical work, and all that stuff that you do for a training camp. So, mate, my improvement in the last year has been massive, and I just can't wait to go out there and show it.
There's pressure on you every fight you have. Are you feeling pressure for this one?
Mate, absolutely. Absolutely, but there's certain types of athletes, there's certain types of people, not just athletes. There's those that pressure wears them down, and there's those who shine under pressure, and I am 100% part of the latter. But that being said, it's not just me who's under pressure. It's his third title shot, mate, and he failed the first 2. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of pressure on me, but there's also a lot of pressure on him. There's pressure on both of us. Every fight you go into, there's pressure. I can't speak for the rest of the fighters, but mate, I don't want to get kicked in front of millions of people. That's the biggest pressure in me. I don't want to get battered in front of millions of people. No way about it. So to me, that's the biggest pressure. Titles, all rankings, statistics, all that aside, I don't want to get beat up in front of millions of people, so there's always pressure.
What did you learn from your past experiences fighting for the championship against Francis and against John?
At first, I think all of that, you see, the conference, the media, everything it's heavy for the fighter. And I remember against Francis, it was so heavy. It was not easy. And yeah, this is a good exercise because you must be prepared for that. This has had a little bit more pressure for the storytelling, everything. And yeah, I remember for John Jones it was easier, so I'm sure for the next one it's going to be easy.
Have you found the last 2 years in particular frustrating with the UFC? It felt like the heavyweight division was on hold, yeah, with John being out and what have you. Have you felt it frustrating yourself?
Not too much, but yeah, for sure. The division was a little bit on the stop, and now the situation is better, and that's why we got to fight with Tom. And no, I was not frustrated. I got my experience. I did already 1 year without fight because of the COVID, because the people canceled the fight. We stay every time we stay focused, we stay professional, and we trust to the work of the UFC. And we're just waiting at the gym, keep training, and this is exactly what we did.
What are the challenges that you see in fighting Tom Aspinall?
Tom Aspinall is the new generation. He's a tough guy, he's a really good fighter, well-rounded. So yeah, he's a good fighter. I'm also a good fighter, so it's going to be a beautiful matchup. It's going to be a beautiful matchup. He's going to have his tactic, I'm going to have mine. So yeah, I can't wait. I'm really excited about this challenge.
Hello there, I'm Tom Aspinall and this is 20 Questions.
What is the best thing about being a UFC fighter?
I get to do what I love and get paid for it.
What is the worst thing about being a UFC fighter?
Probably the politics. I don't get to fight as often as I would like to.
Who has hit you the hardest in your career so far?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say Pavlovich, probably.
Where do you keep your UFC heavyweight belt?
I'd rather not say. I want it to be safe, so I'm not going to say.
If you could invite 3 celebrities outside of MMA to a dinner party, who would you choose and why?
Top of the list, going Gordon Ramsay, straight talker, my kind of guy. Louis Theroux, like him a lot as well. Met him a couple of times, very nice guy he seems. Number 3, Carl Pilkington, my GOAT of all. Are we going to call Carl a celebrity? I'm going to call him a celebrity. We're going to go Carl.
Who's the most famous person to DM you on Instagram?
There's quite a lot. Yeah, probably Zuckerberg. And I ignored it, yeah, because I didn't even realise he messaged me for like a year.
What is your biggest ick?
Oh, that's it. I thought of some good icks recently. The people that can't be comfortable with silence. You know when people just talk just to fill the gap of silence? Yeah. That's an ick for me. Like, we're just happy sat here in silence. It's fine. We don't have to talk just for the sake of talking.
What was your biggest fear as a child?
Was and still is losing a loved one.
If you could invite one Manchester City player, past or present, to train with you at your gym, who would it be and why?
I think probably Haaland, because he's an elite. You want me to say James Trafford, don't you? No, we're going to go Haaland. We're going to keep it obvious.
We're going to reverse that. If you had to train with a Man City team for one day, what position would you want to play?
Probably play in net, I think. Tall, agile.
Yeah.
I think it'd suit me.
What's your favourite animal?
Dog, I'd say. I've got 2 dogs. French Bulldog, it's really old, and a German Shepherd.
Who is your best friend in the UFC?
Modestas Bukauskas or Anthony Delia. Nice. Both friends of mine.
What is your greatest attribute?
I think I'm quite nice to be around, I think. I would hope so, but I don't know. I think so.
How do you celebrate a win?
Pizza, beers, sleep, usually.
Which actor would play you in a movie about your life?
Sylvester Stallone.
If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I think you can't go wrong with steak.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
I've not done karaoke for a long time. I've not been that drunk for a long while, but probably Angels by Robbie Williams.
What do you tell an Uber driver that you do for a living?
I just usually go and just say, if they ask, I'm just a professional athlete. And just leave it at that.
Where is your favourite holiday destination?
Probably Poland. Poland's like a place where I go to relax, so Poland, yeah.
Finally, pick a TNT Sports pundit. Adam Cattrall, Nick Peet.
Oh, you can't do that to me. What, as a pundit or as a... I can't do it anyway. I don't know. I'm in the middle. I'm sitting on the fence with that one.
Look at that. I mean, that was a really nice trip. He got him down, but then just with the momentum, rolled over and Gane ended up on top. And look at this. Look for a head and arm choke on the jiu-jitsu guy. Wow. The problem for Gane is that... Oh, look at that! There's the tap!
Welcome to the UFC, Ciryl Gane. First round submission victory for the Frenchman.
The position wasn't perfect. Pessoa was kind of on his side, but still, with the strength that this man possesses, that's all it took. We see here, he's looking for the foot sweep. He gets it, goes down, but with the momentum, Gane ends up on top. And also Gary in judo, they call that. Pessoa just made a mistake here, left his arm hanging out there. I think perhaps he didn't think the threat of the submission was there. And there it is, locks in the position.
Oh, ankle lock attempt.
Oh, he's going
Why
for
not?
it. He's looking for the heel hook.
Oh, and he gets the tap!
No way! Wow! Ciryl Gane with submission number 2.
Wow!
How about that?
How much time is left there?
If he can't get you with the big kicks and the big punches, he'll make you submit.
Wow.
And you know what was funny, John? The other day when we were in the workout rooms training, I made a joke to Fernando Lopez. I said, so no crazy heel hooks or anything then? And he said, maybe. He said, maybe if there's short time and there's no risk.
He did.
Right? That's crazy, isn't it?
The crystal ball from Dan Hardy. But let's celebrate a quite fantastic performance by Gane.
He heard him. He heard him. You heard him with a jab, Joe.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he heard him. Oh, it might be it.
Ciryl Gane flattens Junior Dos Santos. 7-0 for Ciryl Gane.
Wow.
He heard him bad with that jab, man. He noticed it, he saw it, and he went and followed with that big elbow to the side of the head to finish. Great performance by Ciryl Gane. I mean, this is exactly what he needed to do in this spot.
Pops that jab and really stung Junior with that. And there's the elbow that hurt him. Ducks under that punch. And this is the one that Junior was complaining about. He felt like that was in the back of his head. It looks like it was. But, I mean, that's also because he's ducking and moving away from the shot. Let's take a look at it again here.
I mean, what a jab, Joe.
Yeah. He's a powerful man. Yeah. That's really behind the ear.
It's close, yeah, right on the side.
Oh, he's hurt. Under a minute to go in the round. Lewis
this looks like it could be the end right here. That's it. It's over now.
Come on, Derek. You gotta do something.
Francis Ngannou would appear to have a real challenge on his hands in the form of Bongama.
John, he's a real problem for Francis. Woo! Because if he can fight like this, right? Hey, if he doesn't let Francis get rolling downhill by popping him at the knee, by keeping him at range, dude's a real problem for Francis Ngannou.
He's putting on quite the display.
Yeah, still 2 more rounds. If he keeps attacking that body.
That was an A-star performance by Ciryl Gane.
So accurate, so patient.
Listen to the crowd.
They can sense it too.
Sergey cannot take much more.
Man, look at the welt on the left side of the body.
Yeah. Oh, huge shot to the midsection.
Man, Spivac's tough, dude. He's hitting some big shots here. He's got to get a hold. Oh, my goodness.
Here he comes.
He's in big trouble.
Second now. Big shots by Ciryl Gane. He's got 1:25 to work. Warnings from the referee.
Yeah, Goddard is all over this.
Thunderous shots by Gane. He punches into the counters. It is a masterpiece by Ciryl Gane. Handed into the Louvre. He's back on top.
Yeah, just from beginning to end, the way he put out rangefinders, dug to the body, to the legs, upstairs, didn't throw everything with every shot. Just, I mean, almost a flawless victory there.
Well,
and that's exactly what he wanted, Michael.
I was going to say, that was a perfect performance. He didn't make a single mistake. He took his time at the beginning. He found his range. He softened him up. And then when he finally brought down the defenses, when he'd taken away the threat level, when Sergey was no longer posing any threat whatsoever, because he battered him down.
Ciryl, good to see you. How are you?
Fine, and you, my brother? Cool.
It's been a while since we've seen you in the octagon. Talk to me about the challenges that you've been facing away from competition, leading in, obviously, to a world title fight on Saturday.
Je suis pas sûr d'avoir tout compris. Sorry, I'm going to...
I've got you. It's my accent. Mr. Lopez, come on, eh? I'll stop.
Quel soit le challenge que tu as eu à être aussi loin de l'octogone pendant un an?
Yeah, so we're talking about 8 months. 8 months, yeah, because it was in December. And when we restart to go back to the gym in March, we knew already we were going to have this opportunity with Tom Aspinall, and we expected about this fight. So we started really early to prepare this fight. So we was already in the camp, you see, since March. So we did 6 months like this, like it was really easy.
Have you found the division frustrating over the last year or so? From a fan point of view, obviously it's been held up a little bit.
Yeah.
What's it been like as a fighter waiting to see what's happening with the title?
The mindset was to stay healthy, so no question. It's like that. Sometimes it's fast. When I started, I did 3 fights in 5 months, but sometimes I did 1 year without any fight. Just after my 3 fights I did in 5 months, I did 1 year, December to December already, when I started my career. So I can manage this. This is not my first time, and it's like that. It's like that, no question.
I like the way that you use that word pressure, because we speak about pressure all week. There's always pressure in every single fight.
Every time.
What is the pressure like in a title fight compared to what I would class as a normal fight?
Yeah, a normal. I'm gonna say it's more about the pressure, about all the stuff we need to do for the media, for you see all the stuff we have. You see the schedule is different when it's not for the title fight. But I knew that already. I got the experience of that with Jones and Francis Ngannou with the storytelling. It was huge also. So no, it's okay for me. I can manage this. This can add a little bit more pressure, but I'm okay with this.
How have your UFC experiences helped you leading into this? Because you're consistently a main event. It was only the last time, I think, for the first time in, what was it, 4 years, 5 years that you won the main event? So that was a different experience, 3 rounds over 5 rounds.
Yeah, it was new.
So how has those experiences now shaped you as your character building in towards the fight on Saturday?
Maturity. It's about maturity. Like when I arrived, it was something. It looked like really new for me. Now I'm a OG. Like you say. I'm a veteran. Like it's really.
You're still a young man. You're still a young man.
I'm still a young man, but when I look back, like you said, Jules told me that this is my, comment tu dis, 8e, my 8th
main event.
poster. Like you see,
yeah.
That's huge. That's huge. So this is how the experience.
How have the previous 2 title fights shaped the way that you think? What did you learn from the experience against Francis and the experience against John?
It was really different. Against Francis, it was my first time for the Undisputed. And the fight, the end of the fight was really close. It was 50-50 and the champ stayed the champ. So not too much question from myself. When I lose against John Jones, it was different, completely different. We fixed a lot of things since John Jones. We built a real team around me, and the question was really focus on myself, what I want, not about the fan, the team. It was about myself, like, because it was hard. Also, just not because I'm a competitor at first to lose like that. It was really hard, but also because on the social media, the people was really hard with me. It's always like that. It's not about just me. On every sport also. So the question was, okay, what you want, what you really want now. So let's make a focus on it. So that's why I did no media during 1 year, maybe more. And I was only focused on my training, only focused with my team, and build something different.
How did you get to that point? Because that says to me that you've got some good people around you to be able to help you get to that point. Was it leaning on those relationships that you do have, or is this something that's between your ears? What gives you that makeup to allow you to focus purely on yourself in the aftermath of the John Jones fight? Because that's difficult when the world is talking, everybody's talking, but then you go insular on that moment.
I'm lucky because I grew up with my 2 parents, brother, sister, with a lot of love, you see. So, like I like to say, I'm how do you say it? Stable? Stable, like stable, emotionally.
Yeah.
I'm really stable. I'm really aware also, and I know who I am, what I need. So from myself, it was my decision, and all of the team was really comfortable with this decision. We felt it, like it was really more quiet, really more focused on ourselves, and not about the judgment and try to driving the people outside,
satisfy what they want.
Yeah, satisfy and you see.
Yeah.
No better. You can control.
That's true martial arts.
Yeah.
It's here. It's not out here.
Exactly.
It's here.
This is the experience. The people think you are the center of the world, and the people think you can driving the mindset of the people outside. You can control anything. If you lose, you're gonna see. You can control anything. Like even when you win, you can control anything. You're just surfing on the vibe, on the wave. When I won the fight after fight, I was in the flawless. It was easy. I was I control. Easy. And one day you lose. Boom.
Change.
But I got this experience now.
Does that reignite the fire for the third opportunity to become undisputed champion?
Yes, yeah, of course. Since John Jones, since the fight with John Jones, I remembered my feeling after the fight with John Jones when I saw all the people turn back. My reflection was, I just arrived in this sport. I do my thing, like I'm good. I'm just arrived. I did something well, and the people are really hard, tough with me. I don't understand. Let's do something else, because I know I'm a well-rounded guy. I can do another job, like, you see. So it was a little bit, half of my mindset was, okay, let's go to do something else and leave the people with the harder fighters in France, you see. But I said, no, what I want, me, really, what I want. So since John Jones, I know exactly what I want. So the fire was here since Spivac, Volkov, already. So now I know I want this belt. This is my fire.
I was going to ask you what this means for French MMA, but listening to you speak, this is about Bon Gamin. This is about, this
Exactly.
is the thing. This is the thing for you now.
Yeah, only me. I did a big sacrifice. I did a big sacrifice for this camp. Egoist? Selfish. I did some choice like selfish. Selfish?
Yes.
Okay. Selfish, yeah. But you see, I didn't see my family since almost 3 months.
That's big. You've got a young family, you know. That's a big thing.
I'm this kind of guy, but sometimes you must do some choice for your life, and this is a selfish choice. Like, but not only because I know if I'm gonna go home with the belt, I'm gonna be a happy father, and everybody know that in my family, so everybody is okay with that, and that's why I want to say thank you to everybody, because my coach also did a little bit more than 1 month without his family also for me, you see. So yeah, it's all about choice.
But on top of that, you know that becoming the champion, you create history for France, for French MMA.
For me,
I know it's for you, but as well as that, other people will say,
No.
the first guy.
This is just for the title, but I'm not the center of the world. Maybe, yeah, I'm going to be the first one. That's good for the legacy. But tomorrow, I don't like to say that, but if I die, the people are going to turn the eyes on another fighter and going to forget me. This is the life. This is the real life. I'm not stupid. So,
that's experience.
That's experience,
Yeah.
but it's not just about the sport. It's about life. Like everybody lost some people in his life, but sometimes, yeah, you're thinking to these people, but you continue your life, brother. You continue your life. So I'm not focused on. Yeah, for my country, it's going to be something huge. At first, I'm focused on me because this is the more important for me.
What is the challenge that you see in Tom Aspinall? What are the main challenges on Saturday night?
This is a new breed like me, like the people like to say. He's really fast, really technical, well-rounded. He's a smart guy, tactically, with his father and coach. And that's why I'm really excited, because I'm a huge fighter, so I got a good coaches. And it's going to be really interesting to see how we're going to manage this.
I think that's the beautiful thing for the fans, because you've not faced anything like Tom. Tom's not faced anything like you.
Exactly.
And those silhouettes coming together on Saturday night, I think, could bring a beautiful fight.
Yeah, and I hope it's going to be a huge fight, a huge dog fight for the fan, really.
And should you be victorious and be the undisputed champion?
Of course.
What's the celebration? Is it home to the family? Is that the first thing?
Yeah, at first. I'm just thinking about that to take my daughter, my wife, in my hand. But yeah, of course, after that, it's going to be a big satisfaction for myself. It's not about to celebrate. Yes, I'm going to celebrate, of course, but it's going to be a real satisfaction for myself, really.
You're a beautiful man, Ciryl.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate
Pleasure,
it.
my friend.
You know, it's quite rare, especially when you have a dominant champion that kind of solidifies himself. It's quite rare that you see them and you go, okay, that's the best guy fighting the next best guy. Because once you start going through titles and you start to kind of defend and defend and defend, you know you have that. But in this case, you are having the two best heavyweight in the world stepping in there. And Tom Aspinall is something special. I have to be honest here and admit that early on, I kind of doubted it because you see him getting these 2-minute, 1-minute finishes, and you're like, okay, well, is that the best guy there? Is that the best wrestler? Is that the hardest hitter? Is that the fastest guy? To where it was like the next fight, and then the next fight, and then the next fight, and I'm like, okay, wait, let's take a look here, and let me be honest as a wrestler. When you think of UK wrestling, because it's not like America where it's in an amateur system to where we know these guys have that pedigree before they get to the professional rank. But someone like Tom Aspinall, to be that size, to be that quick, and to be able to mix it up the way that he does, it is something special. And I said it before his last fight. I said, we have to stop doubting this guy. This guy is the problem.
The way that he's been going through people, as Kamaru's just highlighted, that has been incredibly impressive. But the narrative over the last 12 months now creates a little bit more pressure. Obviously, we can speak about the possibility of a John Jones fight. That didn't materialise, and now we find ourselves fighting Ciryl Gane on Saturday night. You'll know yourself, Kamaru, there's a lot of pressure that comes with being the champion.
Correct.
Isn't there? How does that differ from a normal day-to-day fight, if I can call it that, inside the UFC?
Well, I think that whole notion of pressure, that's going to be determined by Tom Aspinall. Because if he just goes out and does what he normally does, this shouldn't be pressure for him.
Yeah.
Because of what he's had to deal with and how he's been able to dispose of his opponents in that octagon. Now that you are labeled the undisputed champion, and this, I guess, would officially be his first title defense.
Yes.
How does he deal with that? Because we all know the story of when he became champion, giving the belt to his father, because this is something they dreamed of for a long, long time. Now, being crowned the baddest man on the planet, how do you handle defending? Especially against, this is a guy that he hasn't faced someone like this, a guy that's this dynamic. So how does he deal with all of that? That's what we're looking to have answered on Saturday.
You see, this man's making a wonderful transition into the world of media. See what he's done there? He's managed to bring me to the point of segue, so now we can talk about Ciryl Gane. That was awesome, mate. Well done. Let's talk about Ciryl then, shall we? Because we've talked about pressure for Tom. Big pressure on Ciryl. This is his third opportunity now to try and become undisputed. Yes, he's fallen short in the first two. Might not get a fourth if he's unsuccessful on Saturday night.
Nobody gets 4 UFC title fights if you don't win any. That just doesn't happen. So his entire career, effectively, at the top end of this sport is on the line here on Saturday night. That's just a fact. I think Ciryl knows that, which is why he's explained this week. He said, listen, I've left my children, left my missus, I've gone away. I've spent 3 months focusing on this camp. He's been out in the Middle East for an awful long time. He's almost hinting to the fact he might even move out to the Middle East. He enjoys it so much. So he's leaving no stone unturned. But Kamaru touched on it then. What has caught the attention of fans in North America with Tom is, whoa, this guy's got grappling chops. We ain't seen that from a Brit before. Bisping's success, if you remember, he had to leave the UK, base himself in the US to get that kind of work done. Tom is from a generation now where there is wrestling support there. The grappling is being taught in the UK from a very young age. So he brings that to the table. But that's the elephant in the room with Ciryl Gane. What has he done over the last 12 months of inactivity inside the cage? What has he done over the last 3 months of a focused camp? And can it cater for what Tom Aspinall potentially brings from the grappling area? Because John made it look pretty easy to take him down and finish him.
Yeah. From a Ciryl point of view, speaking to him this week, he's always dead relaxed. So he's like you, very hard man to read during a fight week. Cool, calm, collective. As Nick's just touched upon there, those first 2 disappointments, one against Francis, one against John. Talk to me from a fighter's mentality of how that then maybe changes the mentality and levels the game up, so therefore when you do get that next opportunity, which is coming on Saturday night, you don't make those same mistakes again.
Yeah, there's going to be that element of pressure because when you faced the other 2 best guys in the division before, you fallen a bit short. But the one thing that he does have going for him is he was the interim champion.
Correct.
He has had a little taste of what that is to have gold wrapped around you, which is why, as a fighter, we start to kind of branch out a little bit. This shouldn't be the last stop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you start to kind of branch out, and that's the only kind of concern here is we know Ciryl Gane has kind of branched out. He's done some fashion work.
Yeah.
He's done some movie work. It's how does that affect your mind? To some people, it could be a benefit, but to others, you have to be immersed fully in this. And so how does that affect him going into a fight against probably the most dangerous guy? We've seen you against big power before. We've seen you against really, really good grappling, John Jones. Now, how do you deal with a guy that can mix it all very, very well at an incredible pace and incredible speed? And, you know, that's my, I'm kind of hung up here because I want to lean one way, but at the same time, I have to be respectful of Ciryl Gane's skills.
How do you compartmentalize that? Because you've experienced that. You've done the movies and balanced the fight career at the same time. How hard is that to do?
It's difficult now at this point. I know I still got some tread left. I know there's
we know that. We're going to get to that in the show, mate. Don't you worry about that.
I understand how difficult it is because when you're at a certain point, when you're just making your way up, you live and breathe this.
Yeah.
To where it's once I'm done with training and I'm on the drive home, I'm thinking about what happened in training. And I'm sitting at home, I'm having a meal, I'm thinking about what happened in training. Okay, how can I better this? I have a fight coming up. Okay, what is this guy? You're constantly living in that space. But now when you start to kind of pull back a little bit where I'm thinking about, okay, what kind of faces did I make for this shot in this movie? Okay, I have to immerse myself in that. You're kind of taking yourself away from that. And it could be help. It could be help for you, but it could also be a detriment because when you're not that focused against a guy like Tom Aspinall, who's ultra dangerous, that could be problematic.
Dana, great to see you again. How are you?
I'm good. You too?
I keep telling fight fans back in the UK that Abu Dhabi is the best fight week of the year. Now, that's a personal thing for me.
Yeah.
I enjoy coming out here. I enjoy everything about being in Abu Dhabi, but 9 times out of 10, the fights deliver as well. It really has turned into a jewel in the UFC calendar, the big numbered card in Abu Dhabi every single year.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's certain places that I always tell people that you have to travel to and see a fight. The UK is one of them, and Abu Dhabi it's special. It's different, like you said. The fights do always deliver. We always have great cards here, and it's a great place to come hang out for a week or a few days or a weekend.
And this one at the weekend's probably even more romantic for British fight fans because obviously we've got a guy in the main event, and it's the heavyweight championship of the world. No disrespect to any other champions, but there's something, again, quite romantic about the heavyweight championship.
I agree, and Aspinall and Ciryl Gane is a very interesting fight for both guys. You know, Aspinall is supposed to be the future of the heavyweight division. He's going to have to get through Ciryl Gane first, and for Gane, you know, there was a point in time when it looked like he might be the future of the heavyweight division. So big fight for both of these guys.
Well, that's what this is this weekend, isn't it? It is the next generation of heavyweight. I mean, you've seen plenty of heavyweights come through the UFC over the last 30 years, and you can see that evolvement. And these two are kind of the epitome of that evolvement, the next generation, the way they move, the way they fight, how rounded, especially Tom, the way that they are now. It is that next generation of fighter that we're seeing on Saturday night.
Both real athletic guys that move really well. Both have good stand-up and goes to the ground. It's good there too. And yeah, a couple of real athletic, well-rounded guys.
From a British point of view, obviously we're all in on the Tom Aspinall train. How impressed have you been with Tom and what he's done in the UFC so far?
Unbelievable. Saturday night's the big night for him, though. Saturday night's the big night for him and the big night for Ciryl. Ciryl was winning the entire fight with Francis, and then, you know, went for that submission and got into a bad position. And then, you know, what John Jones did was unbelievable. So for Ciryl Gane in his career, Saturday night's a big night for him, and Saturday is possibly a big coming out party for Aspinall if he goes in and does what people think he's capable of doing.
And if he does, there's obviously then going to be questions about what comes in 2026 for Tom. We look down those rankings in the heavyweight division. He's already beaten 5 of the top 10. Ciryl would be 6 if he's successful come Saturday night. He's already said that the guy that's currently ranked number 10 is his friend, Ante Delija. And he would vacate the title if Delija got to a point where he was going to fight for the title. Firstly, what do you think about that?
You know what I think about that
Yes.
before you even ask me. I hate that, you know. Many friends, relatives, name it, have all fought each other before. It doesn't determine whether you are friends with somebody or you hate somebody. You're competing against them to see who the best is, but that's his decision. You know, these guys. When you become a world champion and if he defends the title and does whatever he does, to even think about vacating it because you don't want to compete against somebody is absolutely insane. But he's a grown man. That's up to him.
There are other options though for people that he could fight. Obviously, you've got a fantastic light heavyweight champion who is currently talking about the possibility of moving to heavyweight in Alex Pereira. Do you see that as a possible move for him in 2026?
Anything is possible. I mean, anything is possible. I don't really like looking down that far and talking about the light heavyweight champion moving up, but I don't know. We'll see how things play out at the end of this Saturday, obviously, and then the end of this year, and as far as Pereira goes and stuff like that. But I'm only looking at Saturday. That's it. And even Tom saying, I'd vacate if he fought. It's even silly to talk about that when a guy's ranked number 10.
Do you, obviously when I was growing up, Mike Tyson, the baddest man on the planet, late 80s, early 90s, that was the mantle that was along him. And I think the UFC heavyweight champion has kind of taken that mantle for the modern day. Would you go along with that the 100%. Baddest man on the planet Definitely. Is the UFC heavyweight champion of the world?
Without a doubt.
With that then in mind, how big could this be for the victor on Saturday night? I'm talking from a crossover point of view, from a star point of view, from becoming a person that maybe cuts through into the mainstream, especially with the new TV deal that you've got coming into fruition in January next year in the States.
Yeah, and we have a lot of really cool things coming up, here in the next several years. And whoever does hold that belt, obviously it's a big deal. It's a big position in the company, and yeah.
How does it change? That TV deal is absolutely astronomical, and I think it could be huge for the UFC crossing over into that mainstream. Does it change the way that you approach the calendar next year at all, as you've already approached this year in 2025? Will it look different next year at all?
As with the new television deal?
Yeah, I'm talking maybe from a schedule point of view.
Yeah, I think a lot of things are going to change over the next couple of years. As we get into business with these guys, we're going to when you think about us being on ESPN, college football, the NBA, the NFL, the list goes on and on of all the different sports that they had on there. These guys are an entertainment network. They can move movies around and things like that, whatever. But we're gonna try. Literally on the ride over here, we were texting about, scheduling and timing for next year. It was literally just working on that in the car on the way here.
Do you think fight fans get more?
You think what?
Do you think fight fans get more events in 2026?
Well, I don't know. Definitely not more events, but definitely try some new things as far as scheduling goes.
Okay. Regarding locations that obviously and territories that you visit, it's been great recently, especially with fight nights and the big events that we've had back in front of the fans and packed out stadiums and arenas around. Are there new territories that you're looking to explore with the new
Always.
deal?
I mean, that's always, no matter who we're with. No matter what network partner we're with, we're always trying to go to new places and open up, and again, I've been saying for a while too, we got to get back to some places that we haven't been. We just went to Chicago. We hadn't been there in a long time, and it was a great event. But the answer is yes. That's always yes, no matter who we're with.
I mean, that New York card does look absolutely insane with Islam Makhachev. Again, looking for greatness, trying to take on Jacques de la Maddalena.
Yeah, I agree. Fun card in New York. But, you know, like we were talking about, you can always count on the Abu Dhabi card to be great. It's like our November New York cards are always incredible too.
And then in December, maybe a little bit of history being created with Merab Dvalishvili. I've seen you speak about him and his attitude and wanting to defend that belt for the 4th time. He's been put in again in the rematch with Petr Yan. Just talk to me about that attitude from Merab of wanting to fight again before the year was out.
Yeah, I love it. Merab and I were off to a rough start in the beginning. But, you know, listen, you have to respect somebody who's done what he's done, and the guy wants to keep fighting. He wants to break this record and defend the title more times in a year than anybody's ever done. I love guys who want to fight all the time. First of all, it's how you make the most money that you can possibly make while you're doing this, and it keeps you in front of the fans, and you know, more people want to see it when you keep fighting.
I know that
when you fight and disappear for a long time, it's, you know, it's a little weird. But guys who like to be active, I love even kids that come off the Contender and they're like, throw me in as soon as you can. Love it.
I know that obviously America and Vegas is the hub of everything that the UFC is, but with champions now scattered around the globe, all over the place, do you find it important to take those champions to their local areas in order to fight in front of their local fans?
Yeah, anytime you can. I mean, that used to be the model. You know, when you look at the way the boxing used to work is, unless they became huge superstars and they would fight in Vegas or Atlantic City, they fought in their hometowns. That was how you made money. We sort of destroyed that whole model. But, you know, whenever you can take somebody, you know, to their home country, it's never a bad thing. Are you going to ask me about Merab? Is that where we're headed with this?
No. I was thinking more in my head, obviously from a British point of view with Tom, because obviously now as his stardom is growing, I've no doubt there'll be a thirst to have him in America, in Vegas, and in
that's a no-brainer. Well, absolutely, yeah. But I was literally at a meeting today, and there was a guy there who was from the government of Georgia, and he's literally like, I want to talk to you guys. I want to bring a fight to Georgia. So we literally happened this afternoon at a meeting I was at earlier. So yeah, I'd like to take him home too.
Merab to Georgia, Ilya to Spain. Those are things that are obviously exploring.
Absolutely, no brainers.
Okay. Looking ahead to 2026, I'm going to ask you about some other British fighters. We all love Paddy the Baddy. There's talk at home that we think that he's ready to challenge for the top prize, the title against Ilya. We know that those two guys have got a dislike for each other, let's just say, and it would make a fantastic fight. Is that something that you're exploring for the start of next year?
We're always exploring lots of different things.
There's a twinkle in your eye, though, when you said that.
Well, listen, obviously it's a fun fight. People would like to see that. But I don't know. As of right now, no, we haven't made that fight. We're trying to figure out what's next for Topuria.
Okay. There was talk as well, from a British point of view, about Lerone Murphy challenging Alexander Volkanovski for his title. We thought that might come by the back end of the year. It's not materialised. Is that something that you're looking at for the start of next year?
You want me to make like 10 fights right here while we're doing this interview right now? I mean, everything is possible. Everything is possible. But no, we haven't made any of these fights yet.
Okay. With everything that's happening at the moment, again, I speak to some fight fans that maybe have a minimal concern because you're a busy man. And obviously you're now stepping into the world of boxing, you've got slap going, all these things. How does that affect your work with the UFC?
All the other things that I'm doing?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't affect my work with the UFC. It affects my personal life. You know, I'm obviously, if you'd have told me at 36, you're going to be busier when you're 56, I would have never believed it. But it's true. But this is what happens when you want to take on more and more things. Just busier. I'm over here for almost a month. I'm in the Middle East for almost a month between UFC, slap, and boxing. Just those three things have me here in the Middle East for a month. So, 26 is, we're launching on on Paramount and CBS and working on a bunch of other deals that are happening right now. So it's going to be a busy year next year.
You just obviously gone back from 56 to 36 there in your own personal life, but if someone was to tell you that you'd have been able to take this to Paramount, to the deal that you've just cut on that TV, to now obviously be in a stage where the business could be crossing over massively into the mainstream for world domination, would you have believed it?
Yeah, I would have believed it. The crazy thing about this, like, full circle, whatever you want to call it right now that I got going on with Paramount. Paramount was basically where we were when we were with Spike TV. And the guy who at the time ran, you know, was the executive that ran the whole company, Lorenzo and I went in to cut a new deal with them because we're super loyal. We would have stayed on Spike for the next 100 years. But the guy was basically like, his name's Philippe Dumont, right? He acts like he's from, you know, he's French. His name's Phil Duman. He's from Jersey. The guy is the biggest zero in the history of television. But basically, he put a bullet in all the great brands. He wiped out MTV, VH1, Comedy Central, all the greatest brands in American television. This guy ruined. But he basically sat there at that lunch that day and told us, I built the UFC, and I'll build another one. So, you know, we never ended up doing a deal with what became Paramount. And now we're back with Paramount again with obviously
different people.
New ownership and everything else. But yeah, it's crazy the way life works out.
For people that are going to be tuning in on Saturday night, give it a man. Tell them exactly what they're going to get.
Yeah, I mean, every time, we said it earlier, every time we come to Abu Dhabi, we stack the card. We got a great card on Saturday night. Main event is, you said it yourself, the heavyweights are are it. And a lot on the line for both of these guys this weekend. And I'm excited to see how this thing plays out. Yeah.
Thanks for your time, Dennis.
Thanks for having me.
Tom, you're going into this fight as a favourite, and part of that is your grappling ability. Does part of you feel like you need to go out there and test that right away on fight night, or are you happy to let the fight play out organically?
I am happy to let the fight play out completely organically. Whatever comes available, I will take it, and I will try my best to get the finish.
Do you believe this is a fight that had to happen? It was long talked about. Tom came to France that time. Are you glad that you're finally fighting Aspinall in the fight of the new heavyweight generation?
Yeah, finally, we are both two, 100%. That's normal. And I respect this. That's fair. That's fair. I forgot the question, brother.
That first fight was predominantly fought standing. Now you get 2 extra rounds to maybe, submit her or knock her out. So what can fans expect on Saturday?
I think fans are going to see a complete MMA fight. We're going to go to the ground, striking, cage, takedowns. It's five rounds, so I don't think both of us want to stay all 5 rounds striking since we're both grapplers. I think we're definitely more confident on exchanging on the ground, but I think there's going to be striking. I think there's going to be everything. I think it's going to be a very well-rounded title fight.
What is the best path to victory for you? Is it that first round knockout that you predicted, or are you expecting a 5-round or 3-round war against Umar?
That's a perfect scenario, right? First round finish. I know where I'm at. I'm in his backyard, so that's something I got to search for. I'm not looking to go a decision here. And I need to make myself stand out from the rest of this division to get that title shot. But like I said, he's well-rounded, I'm well-rounded, and I just see it being an exciting fight.
Do you think you need to finish him emphatically to cement yourself as the next contender at Bantamweight?
I think I just need to show best performance, if it's gonna be... Thank you guys. If it's gonna be finished, of course, it's gonna be great,
Yesterday, a media day, you were pretty confident and you said that you'd be able to drag Tom into deep waters, which nobody has been able to do. What about your style makes you think that you're able to do so?
If I remember, it was a question, if it's possible to have a deep water. I say yes, of course. It's everybody know already. I got the experience to go to the 25 minutes, but I can also go in the rush. So everything is possible. This was monster yesterday.
Yesterday, in response to Cyril's confidence in taking you to deep waters, you said that everybody that said that gets knocked out in the first minute. Is that the official prediction?
No, it's not the official prediction. It just so happens that that's what's happened. Everyone who says that they can take me to deep waters just seems to get knocked out. I don't expect to knock him out early, but I don't expect that anytime, so I just need one shot and it changes everything.
Do you want this fight to be a message to Merab that you should be next in line for a title shot?
No. It's too boring to talk about this guy all the time, you know. I want to talk about belt.
I didn't hear you. What's the question?
It's question, like, it's possible to, like, this fight contender, me and Barrio.
Could this fight be the contenders fight?
Yes.
Go out there and make it. Go out there and put on a show on Saturday that makes people go, damn, one of these guys should be fighting for the title next.
Okay, we're gonna do it.
Deal.
Did you put on the local outfit because you're ready to live here for good?
Everything is possible. I love this traditional stuff. Yesterday, you invited me to do some traditional dancing. It was a crazy moment, and I love this mindset. I love the travel. I love any culture, yeah.
Then I just questioned to Tom. Yesterday, Tom said, I'm going to win by split decision after 5 rounds. I believe this was Northern England sarcasm, but I guess not everybody did trust it. What are your real plans, Tom?
Oh, that's the plan, mate. It's going to be
split decision?
Yeah, that's the
jab
plan.
the whole time?
Just jab and hold. Jab and hold against the fence.
We'll be booing then.
I will too.
Now you've been off for 1 year and 2 months. How frustrated were you in that time off? And has that fueled you going into this fight with Ciryl Gane?
I am fueled up, my friend. Don't worry about that.
All right, this is the big one, lads. We are wrapping up the show in 3, 2...
There you have it. That wasn't so painful, was it?
Not too bad.
Talking about yourself there, mate. Great to have you back in action, and we're all looking forward to the fight. Got your own documentary out now, haven't you?
I do, yes.
You're big time.
Please tune in.
My journey has been a little bit unconventional.
Go on.
I knew it was not going to be easy.
Inside the octagon's never a problem. It's everything that comes with it. Can Tom handle that?
I couldn't get a fight. Everyone was just saying no. There's been injuries.
Oh, no! It's such a shame.
I was unsure whether I want to carry on with the sport or not. All this stuff weighs heavy on you mentally. Dad kept me on the straight and narrow. He's been the biggest part of my career. My dad believed in me way before I believed in myself.
I just knew he was going to be good. I'm going to make sure that I get a real good grip and I don't come off him.
There it is, look at that, it's over. I knew right then, we've got something special here.
This guy can do it all.
I'm born for this. I'm ready.
He absolutely is the next generation of heavyweight. Elite athletes can make really good decisions under a lot of pressure.
One day I'm going to be UFC heavyweight champion of the world.
So far, I've proved to myself that I can do it.
He wants to do this and I want to go along with him and help him.
My dream is his dream as well. That's what it's all about for me.
I think it is, yeah.
I think that my journey has been a little bit different,
Come on, Tom. Kill him.
a little bit unconventional.
I've always just been fascinated by fighting. Don't know what it is. From a young age, I was just fascinated by the way people's bodies work.
Go back to the floor, sit up again.
The way people game plan and strategy. Who wants to win more? I'm obsessed with it.
I got into MMA because my dad was involved with martial arts. So as a way of spending time with my dad, I just went along to the gym. And coincidentally fell in love with mixed martial arts.
Started doing jiu-jitsu when he was about 7 or 8. He always enjoyed doing it, and he always got better. I packed in my job when he was 12, and I just thought then he could be really good at a sport. There was no UFC when he started. We didn't know whether he was going to box. He didn't know what he was going to do, but he just always favoured, and he was always very, very good at combat sports.
In those early teen years, making the decision of what you're going to do with your career and attempting to get into fight sports, it's a very difficult thing to do. It's not like you go to university to get a degree and there's a pathway into the job. Opportunity has to be presented, and then obviously opportunity has to be taken.
At the gym we were at, they did MMA. And he just took a few amateur MMA fights and liked it.
MMA back then wasn't the sport it is today. It wasn't mixed martial arts, it was cage fighting.
Absolute routine win for Tom Aspinall.
There was probably a dozen heavyweights across the entire UK. Not many of them were on any really decent level.
Heavy shots and he's out.
There was nobody really the size of Tom with the skill set Tom has.
Oh, my word!
You've got this big, gangly heavyweight with so much natural ability trying to build a career in a sport that was populated by doormen, ex-bodybuilders, grizzly old veterans that like to fight on the cobbles. And there's this young lad who's actually got a real skill set.
When you're a big heavyweight like he is, matchups are hard to come by, work's hard to come by, pay's hard to come by, and there's moments along this journey where he really wrestles with the idea of whether he is going to do it or whether he isn't. Tom, in his early to mid-20s, is a father of 3 kids. He's married. He's got obligations outside of his own dreams and aspirations.
Liverpool, we have arrived!
He wanted more fights. He signed with Cage Warriors. He fought back-to-back Frenchmen within a couple of months. Both took place in Liverpool, so I was cage side. The first guy breaks his leg when Tom checked his kick.
That's taken on him. Oh, he's broken his leg. Oh, my goodness.
One of the most gruesome things I've ever seen. I remember being in the dressing room with Tom afterwards, and he was white as a ghost. After that, he knocked out another Frenchman in the first round.
Oh, huge shot!
There was nowhere else for him to go on Cage Warriors.
And it's done.
There was nobody else outside of the UFC that would even entertain a fight with Tom Aspinall.
When did you first hear about it?
So I was meant to fight him.
Yeah, we were supposed to fight him, Paul. We were, yeah.
The UFC tried to sandbag me with this young guy, Tom something, and I was like, what's his name? He's like, Tom Aspinall, and I was like, he's heavyweight, so you'll fight at heavyweight. And I was like, the guy's an absolute monster. What he's trying to do to me? I have been underneath him many times, and I was like, I'll pass in that one. I think I'll just take a seat.
I had a 5-fight contract with Cage Warriors. They tried matching me with like 5 different guys, and everyone was just saying no or pulling out. They were just like, look, we're just going to have to release you from the contract. You're going to have to go to the UFC, so I had no choice. I mean, obviously I was relieved that the UFC wanted me, but at the same time I wasn't sure I was quite ready.
I believe I first became aware of Tom and how good he was in the middle of the pandemic, COVID, Fight Island.
So a special moment for the UK's Tom Aspinall, who makes his UFC debut.
My first fight was in the pandemic. It was a really unsure time for everybody involved. To have nobody there, it was kind of weird, especially fighting abroad for the first time. It was just a bizarre situation.
Round number one. Tom, you ready? Jake, you ready? Have fun, gents.
Round number one.
Oh, very, very quick for a heavyweight.
Oh! What a finish! That's it! Wow! Knockout for Tom Aspinall in his debut!
When I saw Tom, when you saw the size of him, how precise, how fast and powerful he was, straight away I knew that the UFC had something special on their hands.
He's not getting enough. Beautiful finish from Tom Aspinall.
I think when I got that win, that was just like pure relief. So I felt like now it was time to take the next step.
Arlovski was a massive barometer fight. He is what you would consider a gatekeeper to the upper echelons of the heavyweight division.
At the time, I had not had a lot of fights, and Arlovski had millions of fights. He's someone I watched from being a young age. I remember he was one of the people who even inspired me to be involved in the sport.
Anytime you share an octagon with somebody like that you've revered for so long and looked up to, it can always be an intimidating moment.
At the time, he was coming off a 5-fight win streak, and he was just outside the top 10. So I felt like they were really giving me a challenge. Where's this guy at? Because the UFC do that kind of thing a lot. They'll test the waters with like an up-and-coming prospect and see, can they hang against a veteran?
Well, as we know, Tom Aspinall, his fights so far have not gone very long. For Andre Arlovski, and you think he's going to try and take his time, but right there, went in with the blitz.
Heavy feints first, heavy feints.
Tom knew that he was going in against a wily old fox. He gave Andre every single ounce of respect that he deserves, and I think maybe looking back, maybe you could argue a little bit too much respect.
When I fought Arlovski, I feel like my inexperience showed in that fight.
Oh, he connected! Wow! This could be the end.
Together,
Look at this!
Trouble here.
Look at the hand speed!
I hurt him early.
Andre needs to cover up!
But he wasn't ready to go yet. When you try and finish a fight and you don't finish it, especially at heavyweight, it's pretty exhausting.
Right here, Tom.
I remember finishing the round and thinking, he's going to start trying to take over in the second now because he's going to use his experience and I'm starting slowing down. In the second, I was fully aware that like I need to do some explosive stuff to get his respect back.
It's testament to Andre Arlovski that he took him into the second round. It's the longest fight that Tom has had.
All right, guys, second round, fight. Round number 2 here at heavyweight between Tom Aspinall and Andre Arlovski.
But I think the Andre Arlovski fight is the time where, even though you can believe something as a fan or as a journalist, the Arlovski fight is the first time for me anyway that I thought, this lad, it's a real thing.
Yeah, we'll get Wizard.
Boom! Under the chin. There it is, look at that, it's over.
It goes right under the chin. A tap quickly for Arlovski.
The way that he spears this guy into the cage wall, and then within a second, he's got him in a choke, and the fight's over. Nobody's ever done that to Andre Arlovski. Yeah, people have beaten him. Yeah, people have knocked him out, but nobody had done that. And it's that moment against Arlovski that I think a lot of hardcore MMA fans started to realise that we had a very, very special talent in the UK.
You've beaten a former UFC champion with so much respect within the industry. You've beaten him and you've beaten him well. What comes next?
I've been living in this kind of area for all my life. Very peaceful. There's not really many people around, as you can see. I like being in the middle of nowhere. With Arlovski, I thought we was going to have like a passing of the torch moment. But it turns out Arlovski's a bit of a sore loser. So we didn't really get that. But yeah, that was good because he's someone who did inspire me a lot. He was kind of the first like big name, like someone with name recognition who I beat. Come. I believe that what separates great athletes and elite athletes is elite athletes can make really good decisions under a lot of pressure. And I didn't know that I could do that. You get bigger and bigger fights. You get pushed to a main event and you start fighting ranked guys. Each one of these brings a different challenge. And so far, I've proved to myself that I can do it. I know for a fact that not everybody can do it. I train with so many guys who are amazing in the gym, and then they get to a fight and they just freeze up and can't do the same. I'm not like that. I think I'm elite.
Spivac was the next logical step. This is a big, strong guy with a massive following. Kind of matched up to Tom.
Tom, ready? Fight's on.
Spivac was on a good run himself when he was given to Tom as a test. This was supposed to be a stumbling block. It was supposed to be a roadblock. But it wasn't to be.
Tom Aspinall, still all the rage! Wow! What a moment for the budding heavyweight contender!
Wow!
Told you. And you're faced with an opponent that is equally as physically gifted as you and the biggest level in the sport. Having the mentality to deliver that kind of finish, I think that immediately set Tom out as a future champion. When you're a lad from the northwest of England who's had his family supporting his dreams, paying his way in life, it must have been soul-destroying for him to train so hard to get in the UFC, but not yet be taking home the kind of money where you can say to everybody, right, I've got this now. I'm in control of my destiny.
Declaring the winner by TKO, Tom Aspinall.
So that bonus from the Spivac fight was absolutely gigantic for him.
Hey Tom, you got performance of the night.
Oh, dude.
Yes. Really?
I was very emotional. That was because I had enough money to buy a house then. And I really, really wanted to buy my own house. That was massive for me.
You could see it all in that moment. That release of emotion. It's life-changing.
Volkov was the biggest test, both literally with the size of him. He's the tallest guy in the UFC, 6'9", but also he was just outside the top 5 when we fought.
For a young buck to come along and do what he did to Arlovski, that's big. But now we're in the game of fighting top contenders. Guys who are hungry, guys who want to win the championship belt.
Tom Aspinall, his first main event and his first time fighting at the O2.
To suddenly step in with a fight of the caliber of Alexander Volkov, you felt like Volkov may have thought, well, this guy ain't going to use me as a stepping stone. This young guy is going to find out what it's like to compete against a true top 10, active, in form heavyweight. You just don't know how any fighter's going to handle that.
Tom Aspinall, his first main event, his first time in front of the UFC fans.
It just brought a whole different kind of pressure. I'd never fought in front of a packed out arena before. When I fought Spivac, we had a really small crowd. But then we were going from 600 people in Las Vegas over the other side of the world to 25,000 people in the O2 Arena in London. When you have that home pressure, it's way greater.
Tom wasting absolutely no time.
I'm 6'5", and I'm not used to people being that much taller than me.
And there it is! 1, 2, 3.
Unbelievable speed for a man of his size.
But as soon as I started to move around, I felt a lot faster than him. I started throwing a few shots in, and landed him, and I was like, here's the slope, I'm this much faster than him.
And straight into the body lock. Wonderful timing.
The entire octagon shook.
Big pressure early from Aspinall. Oof.
There's another elbow.
Aspinall giving him a shelling at the moment.
The first time I took him down, I let him get up. Didn't have it 100%.
Tom backs out of it.
Let it go. Knee to the midsection.
There's the elbows.
Nice job by Volkov, though.
Still have 2 minutes in this first round.
Bit of a slide.
The slip against Volkov, that can happen to anybody. You know, you can hear the gasps around the entire arena of, uh-oh, worst case scenario, it's happening right now.
But Tom Aspinall is the most rounded finisher in the whole UFC. The minute the opportunity presents itself, he will take it.
Oh, unbelievable head movement by Aspinall.
That's how you do it. So technically good. And now this is trouble.
Straight arm lock attempt here from Aspinall. He's done it! What a moment for Tom Aspinall!
The second time I got him down, there was no way he's going to get up in this spot.
You're like, mate, heavyweights aren't supposed to do that. Phenomenal.
It was a massive deal for me, headlining the O2 Arena. The energy in the arena from 20,000 home fans was something that I didn't know how I would fare with, and it turns out I'm pretty good at it. It was a moment that I'll not be forgetting anytime soon. I'm always aware in MMA, especially at heavyweight, your rise can be over literally with one punch or kick. You don't even have to make a mistake. Sometimes they'll just throw something, it'll land, and the next minute the referee's waking you up. And I'm fully aware of that. I think that I never want to get too big for my boots, because this is MMA, the most unpredictable sport in the world, and it's the most unpredictable division. Anything can happen.
I had no worries going into that fight week. It didn't feel like Tom had any worries. Everybody I spoke to was just like, well, Tom's going to run through this guy. The crowd was absolutely rocking. If you had an accumulator on that night, Tom Aspinall was the banker. Everything else has come in. You must be sat in your seat thinking to yourself, brilliant, it's done. The cherry's just about to be put on top of the cake.
I wasn't in a great mental state. There was so much hype behind me at the time. I needed one more big win.
Building up to the fight, we'd had some trouble at the gym. I didn't feel he was doing the right training that he should have been doing. He didn't have the right prep, and there were people around who were upsetting him. The week of the fight, the fighters say, I feel great. You don't know if they really do feel great. You don't know if they're masking a bit of an injury. You don't know. I can only say what's conveyed to me from him, and he always seems the same. But he didn't walk out in that fight, he kind of ran out. Everything seemed a little bit off.
I knew that I had a bad knee years before. I knew it was getting worse. I just wanted the fight to be over. Like, I just wanted to blast him out of there as quick as possible. And you shouldn't go into any fight feeling like that.
Tom moves so quickly for a heavyweight. Explosive moments.
Top center's going to push the action.
As a fan, you've got to try and keep your eyes open. Take it all in.
But he's got to be careful. Stay, Tom, stay!
Stop, his knee's gone. Wow. His knee's gone.
Oh, such a shame.
What a tragedy that is. Oh, no.
Oh, that's just awful.
We'll take that.
Seeing it happen was horrible. He's my son, and I want to look after him as good as I can.
It's not what happened.
We didn't know how big it was when he did it.
Don't remember much, to be honest. It was a bit of a blur. I was in a lot of pain, first of all, but also I was in a lot of emotional pain. I was so disappointed. I felt like I wasted everybody's time.
Clearly in a lot of pain and discomfort.
It was a reality check for everybody that was on the train. It just epitomises how brutal this game can be.
The big British heavyweight hope goes out there against Curtis Blades, and the fight's over before it even started. It was a really, really unfortunate circumstance. But everything happens for a reason.
Tom Aspinall is absolutely heartbroken.
It was by far the toughest part of my career, by far. Went to see the surgeon straight away.
I bend it up, I rotate it.
Oh, that's not great. Not great. I don't. Oh, that's. And that's when he told me the diagnosis of a torn MCL, torn cartilage, stretched ACL.
Let me show you what we were seeing. Between the two bones, the femur and the tibia, these C-shaped things are menisci.
Yep.
So you've had some of that trimmed up, but it may be that you've got a tear that's just in and out of the joint, jamming it.
Massive injury and absolutely massive surgery.
I think it was a bit more complicated than they thought, because it took like twice as long.
There was long, drawn-out bouts of feeling in a really dark place. To be honest, before the injury, I was half in the sport and half out. I wasn't sure if I wanted to carry on. I was doing things that I shouldn't have been doing outside the gym. My recovery was non-existent. The training was in a bad situation. There was a lot of things that should have been changed.
He's had a lot of time to think. He's watching the division move. And when you sometimes are forced to take that break and analyse what is actually happening, you can then really start to put into context the things that you want to achieve.
We just sat and had a chat and said, you're either all in or all out. It's too dangerous to not be. So everything changed. We changed gyms. We got better sparring partners. We had to do it 100% right. We knew that it could go further.
I treated the rehab process like a training camp. Rebuilt myself mentally and physically from the ground up.
Come on, Ben! Come on, Ben!
It felt like, I'm going to show you. I'm serious now.
All roads have led to this. The return of Tom Aspinall against Marcin Tybura.
Before Tom was a predator. Post-surgery, he became an apex predator. He goes out there now to do nothing but completely destroy his opponents in front of him.
One man will climb towards the UFC title, one will fall. Destiny awaits.
Tom and Martin are friends. Pre-injury, Tom might have carried Ty Bora for a little while, might have got him into the second round, but Martin got Tom at the worst possible time. Friend or didn't matter. Once that bell went, all that was going through his mind is, this could be the last time I ever get to fight. So I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it in the best fashion possible.
Oh, nice elbow from... Oh, drops him! Big shelling! It's a fairy tale return for Tom Aspinall!
That was really the time when I think, not only physically did it hit a new level, but I think mentally, that's when you're really seeing me get to like elite status.
I say it all the time to fighters, have a thing in your head of what it is you want next, because when Michael Bisping or Daniel Cormier has that microphone and he sticks it in your face, make that moment count.
Jon Jones is the heavyweight champion of the world right now. When do you think you would earn a shot at that man?
Give me that microphone, Mike Bisping. I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Paris. I'm going to be sat front row for Ciryl Gane against Sergey Spivac. I'm going to beat the winner, and then I'm going to beat Jon Jones.
When you're calling for someone like Jon Jones, when you're calling for the greatest of all time, you heard the roar. The minute he said it, 20,000 people in that arena went crazy, and I guarantee there are a few million people worldwide that got goosebumps thinking to themselves, this could be the guy that dethrones Jon Jones.
For Tom Aspinall to be thinking this way, that he's going to be a champion, and to verbalise it and put it out there to the world that this is his destiny. People that don't have dreams, people that are small-minded, they'll scoff at that. We're taught to be humble, we're taught to accept our lot in life. I think that's a flawed belief system. I think people need to dream big.
Jon Jones, most fans will agree, is the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. He's the best mixed martial artist we've ever seen in 30 years of competition. When he finished Ciryl Gane in that way, he afforded himself the opportunity to say, I want to define my heavyweight legacy by defending against the most successful heavyweight in UFC history.
Y'all want to see me beat up Stipe? One thing I know about the UFC is we give the fans what they want to see. Stipe Miocic, you're the greatest heavyweight of all time, and that's what I want.
John wanted it, Stipe wanted it. Okay, let's make the fight. Madison Square Garden was the destination. It didn't materialise.
Let me set the scene for you. It's like 5 a.m. and I can hear my phone vibrating. I'm like, who's this ringing me at this time? And it's Hunter Campbell.
I'm waking you up, aren't I? All right, so here's what I got. Jon Jones blew his shoulder. He's going to be out 8 months. So this is between you and I. I'm going to probably announce it shortly. You and Sergey Pavlovich are going to be fighting for the interim title, Madison Square Garden.
It's like, right, okay. The next day I sparred. I just wanted to see if I had 5 rounds in the tank. 3 rounds in, pulled my back. Never had an injury like it. Back was completely stiff, literally couldn't walk. I just agreed to this fight. I'm gonna have to cancel. I might never get this opportunity again. So I'm getting physio, I'm getting the massages, stretching it, I'm taking anti-inflammatories, I'm doing all kinds of stuff for it. The day before we got the flights, I started to be able to move my back a little bit.
Madison Square Garden. It was the home of the fight of the century with Muhammad Ali. No heavyweight's going to turn that opportunity down because it may never come again. While we can talk about Tom's rise through the heavyweight division and this incredible run of results, Sergey Pavlovich was doing exactly the same thing.
Pavlovich hits like a monster!
Oh, how about it, Sergey Pavlovich?
And in fact, Pavlovich took full advantage of Tom being away. So it was Pavlovich that was the leading contender outside of John Jones.
The moment has arrived for Thomas Paul Aspinall. First UFC championship opportunity.
The Pavlovich fight, for the first time in my whole career, I was like, this is win-win.
Sergey Pavlovich is the most terrifying force in heavyweight mixed martial arts.
You got to remember at the time, Pavlovich was on like a 6-fight first-round knockout streak. He was this unbeatable, big, scary Russian guy, just knocking everybody senseless. I was taking the fight on 2 weeks' notice. Usually I go in and I'm like, prep for this for 8 weeks. I've studied, I've done this, this and this, I've done this amount of sparring, I've lifted these weights, I've recovered on this day, I've done my stretching, I've got my diet on point. I didn't have any of that. I just rocked up 4 or 5 days beforehand with a back that I could hardly move around. All this stuff weighs heavy on you mentally, but got to be in there to win. So let's just have a go. Because I don't know when the next one's going to be.
All right, gentlemen, you ready for round one? You ready, sir? Let's go, fight!
UFC Interim Heavyweight Championship on the line.
The Pavlovich fight was difficult. We went into the fight knowing probably the first one who lands is going to hurt the other one. I think Tom can beat anybody. But because you've got little gloves on and you can get chinned, anything can happen in a fight.
Everything was pointing against him. But even when everybody on the planet is telling you it's going to go in a different direction, he just has this aura where you don't doubt that he could actually pull this off. When you're naturally good at something, that muscle memory comes in. He's spent a lifetime doing this. This is who he is. This is what he's been built to do.
Tom Aspinall! That'll do it! Tom Aspinall has done it! He is the UFC Interim Heavyweight Champion of the world!
It's up there with having children. It's as close as it can get to that. For me to pull it off in them circumstances, I think that was more relieving than anything else.
It was an amazing moment for British MMA. It was an amazing moment for England, for fight fans. To see another one of our own realise all of his dreams and become the champion of the world. Because it's all the hours and all the sacrifice that people don't see. That's what's coming into fruition right there and then. You know, that's where the emotions come from. To believe in yourself and not go after other opportunities in life. To become a professional fighter, to dedicate the amount of time that it takes. It's a lifetime. And Tom was able to make it all pay off.
Declaring the winner by knockout, and now the new UFC Interim Heavyweight Champion of the world, Tom Aspinall.
Oh my God, I just want to say to everyone at home, listen, if you ever get the chance to do something and you're scared to do it, you should Definitely do it, because there's a chance it's going to pay off. I really believe in myself. I've worked so hard over the years, and this man right here, my father, has worked harder than anybody, so this belt is dedicated to my father.
We've got to remember, in those dark moments in his teens when he's not getting the work, where we don't know where the career's going, whether he is or whether he isn't going to be a fighter, the one constant voice is his dad, who had this unwavering belief. And you need that. We all need somebody that just reaffirms, gives you the confidence, lets you know everything's going to be all right. And who better than your dad? Two lads from the northwest of England went to Madison Square Garden and took on this Russian monster that everybody said don't do, and they nailed him in a round. For them to share that moment in that place at that time, that's what dreams are made of.
I like my car. I'm getting a van, actually. Getting a van next week. Mercedes V-Class Merc. The big one. They're like 9 seats, aren't they? I've got like 3 dogs and 3 kids. It's a lot squeezing them into like a car like this. Dad kept me on the straight and narrow, definitely. He's not, I can't even say he's been a big part of my career. He's been the biggest part by far, barring nothing and no one. When I was really young, when I first started training and stuff, all my friends were into like football and rugby and stuff, and I wasn't really into that. So I just found that I had a lot of free time after school. And my dad was always going out to the gym training and doing stuff like that, and he was always like, do you want to come? I was like, well, I'm not doing anything else. I might as well go and spend a couple of hours with my dad at the gym.
Here and drive him back this way. I can try and, as I get him back this way, as his head's turned, I'm going to make sure that I get a real good grip. And then I put my whole body down on the back of his arm, and I don't come off him. I personally knew he was going to be good. It's a very dangerous and serious sport, and if he got hit a lot, I wouldn't let him do it. If he couldn't see punches coming, I wouldn't let him do it. He was always good enough. He always learnt stuff and practiced stuff really well. And now I'm just going to settle my body down, and I'm just going to walk. And with his arm here, I drop down, and I can just move around the corner.
My dad believed in me way before I believed in myself. But also, the circle of people around me, he somehow convinced them that I'm going to be something special as well.
Try it half guard. He's going to be thinking about his neck, not about your leg.
It was almost like a foregone conclusion, like, this kid is going to be the next big thing.
Yeah.
Push with the chest.
Yeah, try and turn this way.
Okay. What about my leg, though?
Yeah, it's up to you. You can lift your leg up now and go. I just knew he was going to be good. You don't know how far he's going to go, but he'll be really, really good at this. Because I could see. I wouldn't let my kids do something that'd damage them. He wants to do this, and I want to go along with him and help him. Because I don't think anybody can do it better than I can.
We now had an unprecedented situation. Once John Jones eventually came back from injury, the UFC still wanted to put on Jones versus Miocic for the Undisputed title, but we had an active interim champion waiting.
So I can understand Tom defending his belt in Manchester against Curtis Blades. What an opportunity for him to come home and fight in front of his own people.
Tom was absolutely fired up to prove a point. With Blades, it was about, right, we're drawing the line in the sand here, and we'll let everybody know I'm the best heavyweight on the planet right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the co-main event of the evening.
In all honesty, I think defending an interim belt is quite silly. But I wanted to fight in Manchester in front of 25,000 Manchester fans. That's a dream of mine.
Fighting out of the blue corner, the challenger,
does have a win over me. I was not comfortable not having a win over him. I needed to get that one back against Curtis Blades. I needed to.
Aspinall, without question, in the best shape of his life.
Home crowd was great. Every fight we say, go out, enjoy it. Try and do 3 rounds if you can. Let everybody have a good look at you and show what you can do.
Early right hand lands for the underdog Blades.
Curtis is letting his hands go early.
He doesn't get hit a lot. We practice that more than anything, not getting hit. The rest of the stuff you build on top of that.
2 punches landed in there. Yeah. One by Aspinall, one by Blades.
Kind of looked like Tom was going to go for the takedown. Maybe just to prove a point.
And if the other guy doesn't hit you, you usually win the fight.
Tom can't be reckless of Curtis. Oh.
And then if you hit the other guy hard and fast, and he falls over, and then you jump on top of him and finish him.
Yeah, that's
Curtis
nice combination.
Curtis
connected there, but the right hand sits it down. Aspinall. Blades nearly down and out early. And that's it. It's over. Tom Aspinall retains the throne.
He goes out and finishes people. It's a gift he's got. Some people have that. He's got it.
The people in the UK get to see a champion, one of their own, a local boy walking out there defending the strap in Manchester. But if you had to defend it again, it will not feel the same. Because the fight with Jon Jones is absolutely what had to happen next.
There was a real understanding of how big Tom Aspinall had become in the fight week for Jon Jones and Stipe Miocic.
What's up, guys? How we doing? Doing well. Okay? Good. How's it going? Good. How are you? Doing all right. Good. Good. Have a seat, sir. All you guys in, but...
Hey, I'm not going to do this interview. You don't want to do it? No, because it's going to be an Aspinall fest. I'm not going to. Come on, let's go.
I was a little bit upset in the moment. Of course, there's going to be a line of questioning about Tom Aspinall to Jon Jones, given the fact that he's the interim champion and you're the heavyweight champion. I'm not going to sit there and have Aspinall fest with Jon Jones.
What's up, New York? Thanks for coming out today.
But in the press conference, the fans let them know. They let them know that this was not the fight that we wanted to see.
Who's got the first question?
Do you still want to see the winner of this fight Tom Aspinall to unify the heavyweight title?
The winner should absolutely fight Tom.
What are we talking?
Who's got the next question?
Knock it off.
And Johnny Bonzi's looking sharp as attack here early on.
Oh, we heard the
heel right to the body.
That's it.
And still, how good is Johnny Bones? How good?
Wow.
Once that was out the way, the only fight in the heavyweight division was Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall.
That's who's got to fight each other.
There's been all this talk about the future, whether or not you would fight Tom Aspinall, whether you retire after this fight.
I have some conversations to have with Dana and Hunter. We have some negotiating to do. And if everything goes right, maybe we'll give you guys what you want to see.
Jon Jones definitely wants to fight.
It'll be next month, it'll be June, it'll be July.
Just when and where is what we're working on now.
It just rolled on and on and on.
No, Jon Jones has been doing anything but accepting the fight. He's been living his best life. He's been out in Thailand. He's been riding around on motorbikes, sniffing people's hairs, having a good old time, drinking beers, enjoying himself, but not accepting the fight with Tom.
How's he taken sort of being on the sidelines for a bit and having to wait a while for a fight?
Do you know something? Surprisingly well.
Yeah?
He's happy to wait. Doesn't matter how long, he'll keep waiting. In fact, he's on his way here now. You can ask him yourself.
To have to wait to realise his dream because of somebody else was incredibly frustrating for him. A more mentally taxing year than the year he spent out injured.
There's no way on earth that he's going to fight me. Not a chance. I will retire John Jones without even fighting him.
John Jones called us last night and retired. John Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
What a crazy way to announce the fact that the greatest of all time is now moved into retirement. What a crazy way to be upgraded to undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
That's not what the UFC is. The best guys fight the best guys. The champions always step up. They take on the #1 challenger.
For me, it would have been a nice scalp. John Jones wanted none of it. Look, there's nothing I could do about that. If he doesn't want it, there's nothing that I could do. I wanted to be the UFC heavyweight champion. I am the UFC heavyweight champion. Now the reign can begin properly.
Currently en route to film a promo. Got the belt. Trying to make sure no one steals it. It's undercover.
Tom Aspinall is an ordinary bloke with an extraordinary talent.
Can I have wee somewhere in here?
Oh, no.
Can I go to go back to the gym? Oh, that.
And that resonates with people.
How's it going? Tom, nice to meet you, mate.
People root for that guy.
How come there's got specific flags on it? It hasn't got every flag.
No idea. I'd love to tell you, but I've just been making it up.
It's not surprising that the fans have all jumped on the Tom Aspinall bandwagon, because how can you not? You know, he's a good, genuine human being.
I thought someone was going to tell me when to scream. No. You know, just go straight away.
That just happens to be absolutely gigantic, and the last man you want to bump into down a dark alley. I think he's a once-in-a-generation type of talent. And I think he'll go down as the greatest mixed martial artist that this country's ever going to produce. And no one else will even come close.
Watch me defend my title for the first time at UFC 321.
The biggest fight of your career is always the next one. And Gane, just a really skilled operator.
Oh! It's concussive by Ciryl Gane!
I think it's my toughest fight so far. There's the most pressure on me now than there's ever been before. It's MMA. Heavyweight MMA. Anybody can lose. But I know what I can do. And I believe what I can do. It's hard to say out loud without sounding arrogant. But I think I'm a generational talent. That's something that sets me aside from the rest. I've dedicated my absolute life to it. Skill for skill, I'm better than anybody else.
Tom Aspinall made his UFC debut 5 years ago right here in Abu Dhabi.
Knockout for Tom Aspinall in his debut!
Back then, though, it was a pandemic. COVID had hit and everything was happening behind closed doors. Since, he's been on a worldwide tour, wowing the crowds across the globe on his way to undisputed status. 9 fights, 7 first-round finishes.
Oh! Oh! Tom Aspinall! The UK has a heavyweight champion!
Where's the challenge? Well, the challenge this Saturday is Ciryl Gane.
Oh! Percussive and concussive by Ciryl Gane!
A man that's had 2 shots at the Undisputed Championship before and fallen short. Will it be third time lucky for the Frenchman? You'll find out this Saturday from 5 p.m. Make sure you're tuning in to TNT Sports Box Office for UFC 321. Here's your preview show.
to see you. How's it going?
1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to Fight Week on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus. This is your official preview for UFC 321. I'm Adam Catterall. Pleasure as always to be in your company. The smiling assassin is here, the one and only Mr. Nick P, the man that put British MMA on the map, the Hall of Famer. Mr. Michael Bisping is here as always. And look who's here, a man that is hopefully taking British MMA to a new planet, the one and only Mr. Tom Aspinall. How are you, mate?
I'm doing all right, thanks. How are you doing?
Very well indeed.
Good.
You enjoying the sunshine of Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, I love Abu Dhabi. I made my debut here 5 years ago, something like that, and we're back again to defend the heavyweight crown. Looking forward to it.
What's happened in that 5 years, hasn't it, Mike?
A lot has happened in 5 years. Obviously, you were the interim champion. Now you're the undisputed. You get to defend it for the first time against Ciryl Gane. Amanda, you said turned you down, abducted you a couple of times. Right, Tom?
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. They argue that they didn't, but they're not the conversations I had.
Yeah, well, regardless, the fight's happening now. What are you expecting from Ciryl? Because if I was coaching him, I'd be like, right, stay away from him, on the back foot, jab and jog, move around. Is that kind of what you're expecting?
I mean, that's what he does in most of his fights, yeah. I think with Ciryl is a lot of fans now, because of his last fight, I mean, he fought Volkov, he got the win, but it was a questionable win. So I think a lot of fans not really giving him a chance. I actually think he's really good. I took him really seriously. Hopefully ticked all the boxes. I think I have anyway. And yeah, I'm expecting him to be on his bike a little bit. But the guy's really, really good, man. And it's going to be a good fight.
Do you think he's a little bit desperate here, Tom? Because this is his third shot at the UFC title. I can't recall anyone that's had 4. So if he doesn't win it this time, he's kind of, you know, it's back to the back of a long queue. Almost. Does that make him more dangerous?
He's not getting another one, is he? Let's be honest. 3, you're not going to get 4. No, you're lucky to get even 1. Never mind 3. So I'm expecting him. His back's against the wall. This is when people are the most dangerous. This is the hardest camp that he's ever going to have put in.
So I heard your dad talking about it, and I completely agree. He's kind of a point fighter, whereas you knock people out. You are one of the best finishers, or if not the best finisher in the UFC right now. Obviously, the temptation to stand and trade with this guy and knock him out is great, because we all love that feeling. However, the safest path to victory would be to shoot and take him down, just like John Jones did, just like Francis Ngannou did. I'm not expecting you to give your game plan away, but how long is it going to take you till you shoot?
It sounds like you're expecting me to give it away, but we'll see. It's an MMA fight, and I would imagine, especially because he got beat so easily against John Jones, he's going to have worked on his grappling a lot in the last kind of 2-3 years. So he's a very big, very athletic guy. His body awareness is really good. He positions himself really well in the cage. But listen, whatever's available, I will take it.
Talk to me about pressure, mate. Because there's pressure with every fight. I'm sure I might come back you up with that. But there's more pressure that comes with, obviously, title fights. There's more pressure that comes with undisputed title defences. And especially what's happened in the last 12 months. There's a lot of eyes on this fight, isn't there, come Saturday night? You feel it?
The pressure is on, mate. But the pressure's on for both of us. This is the last title shot he's ever going to get. Look, something that I've realised is the pressure just gets bigger and bigger every fight. If you're successful, the pressure's just more and more every time. So it's something
you seem to enjoy it, though.
I love it. It's something that I've become accustomed to. I've not fought for like 14 months, so I feel a bit like I forgot what it was like a little bit, how much pressure there is. But I do well under pressure.
One thing you might not have got accustomed to was last time I saw you was in Paris. We had the press conference, and the French fans, they booed you out the building. It was kind of mental. You couldn't even get a word in. How much are you looking forward to going out there and saying, right, there's no fans? Well, there might be British, there might be French, but it's just you and him in an octagon.
You know what? I remember we had a couple of funny moments where I get asked a question, they start booing, and me and you would just look at each other and just like have a cheeky grin, like, oh.
At what point?
You're in Paris.
At one point, Tom, you caught me booing.
Yeah, I know.
You just give me a
I'm not surprised, mate. I'm the secret. Nick Pete is what you call a frenemy. No, it was. I was expecting it. I understand. I actually respect the passion of the French fans. I think it's really good. Obviously, to be on the receiving end isn't great, but I expected it. It don't bother me that. It's just me. Like you say, it's just me and Ciryl going to be in there, and there's no one there to save either of us.
Let me ask you, obviously, you don't want to look past the fight. That's what I know you would say. But this whole thing with John Jones, is that just completely forgotten about now? And especially when you hear Pereira talking about John Jones at the White House. What are your thoughts on all of that?
In all honesty, I just couldn't really care less about any of it. I'm just like focused on this. This is what I want to do. As far as I'm concerned, that's done. That's in the past. John Jones is retired now. So what's the point in really talking about him?
Yeah. We spoke yesterday to Volkov and Almeida as well on this card, and both of them said the same thing. I get my statement victory. I get my shot at Tom. I won at the start of the year. Is that where your mind's at as well?
I think it's going to be winner versus winner, and it's the logical thing to do. Those guys are right at the top of the rankings. There's obviously me and the champion fighting Ciryl, #1 contender, and those guys are the next two guys. So I think they'll do winner versus winner.
When you look at that matchup, who do you think takes it?
In all honesty, I've not seen enough of Almeida to know really how good he is. I've not seen a whole lot of footage on him. From what I have seen, he's a very good grappler. His stand-up looks decent as well, but I think that Volkov he's big, he's strong, he controls the range really well, and he's had 50 fights. Yeah, so I just think maybe the experience factor, I think Volkov can take it.
How is it with you and Ciryl? Have you bumped into each other this week? Is it all cordial? Is it all nice? Or is there a little bit of tension?
I've not bumped into this week, but I've been around him a lot in the past. Ciryl is a good guy, but at the end of the day, he's in the way. Yeah. It's me or him, and it's going to have to be him.
What do you reckon that documentary we made about you?
It was fantastic.
It's all right, isn't it?
It's great.
Proper job. Road to Undisputed. It's available now, by the way. You can go and check that out. But part of that conversation in that documentary is about the mental challenges that you've had over the last 12 months in particular. Obviously, when you were out of uni, you talked about that quite extensively, how mentally challenging that was. Do you think the last 12 months has been more mentally challenging because the knee was kind of in your own hands, and of when you came back, this has kind of been out of your hands, getting back into competition?
Yeah, it was definitely challenging. You know, any time, like, being a professional fighter is my job, and I've not been able to go to work for the last year, and that's nothing to do with me. So, yeah, that has definitely got its challenges, but that is in the past, mate, and we are moving forward.
Activity. So what does 2026 look like? Could we see, we're just about to see Merab defend his belt for, the fourth time this year, in December. Could we see maybe Tom Aspinall try and do 3 or 4 next year?
I'd like to get 3. I think 3 in a calendar year is what I'm looking at for sure. If I can, if the fights go quick and I can get through them quick. To be fair, it isn't really the fights that take it out, it's the training camps. When you get big guys training, a lot of miles on the clock. Guys like Merab, they can just go all day. They don't get injured as easily and stuff like that. But I would like to be definitely more active than fighting once every 14 months for sure.
Well, let's throw some love on that training camp, because you've got some big lads in there and they're all doing well, aren't they? Anti's doing well and what have you. Now in the UFC, I saw that a couple of wins at the weekend for the big boys. How much has that levelled up your game as well? Setting up your own camp, working consistently with big lads rather than all different sizes of people. How much did that help you level up?
Well, we've been doing that for a few years now, to be honest. My dad has set up a really, really good training room every day. Like every day there's heavyweights in the room at a really, really high level. We've got some of the best heavyweights in the world and light heavyweights training with us. It's just so important for big guys. You've got to feel big bodies. You've got to move around at the pace of a heavyweight. It's no good someone my size training with a welterweight, for example. There's bits you can get here and there, but not every obviously day. You can get the speed and stuff like that, but if you're a big guy, you need to be training with other elite big guys.
Well, you've got to feel the consequence of the shots as well. Not only taking them down and the strength and all the rest of it, but you've got to feel the threat of the punches coming back your way.
Definitely. And as you just said there, like the grappling. The grappling is the biggest difference, I think. Just because grappling with a big guy who's good is far more exhausting than a little guy who's good. You get a big guy on top of you throwing the punches down, it's absolutely exhausting. So you need to be used to that.
You tell us all the time, Tom, because your fights are so short, that we've only seen the tip of the iceberg. We haven't seen the full Tom Aspinall repertoire yet. How far are you away from your peak, do you think?
I don't think I'm close to my prime yet, to be honest. 32, I think I've got... I don't know how many years I want to fight for, but I think I'm getting better and better all the time. And I think physically, mentally, I'm maturing a lot now as well. And I think that's going to show in the next coming years.
Does part of you want to prove that as well? Is there something at the back of your mind where you're thinking, you know what, maybe I do want to get to the 3rd and 4th round to just show you all and shut that bit of criticism up?
Mate, if I can knock everyone out in the first punch, I will do that for the rest of my career. Well, look, if I have to, obviously I'm prepared. Like, regardless of what people think, every single time I go, like my last 6-7 fights have all been main events, so they've been 5-rounders. Like, I've been ready to go 5 rounds every single time. The notion that I train for 1-minute fights it's outrageous. Like, I think it's the most ignorant thing that somebody can say is like, he's got no cardio, he's not good over this many rounds and stuff. Look, just because you've not seen it doesn't mean it's not possible. I train hard every day, and if I need to, we'll go there, but hopefully I won't need to.
Do you think that's Cyryl's game plan though? Get out of the first couple of rounds, try and, in his mind, drag you to deep waters, uncharted waters, and then see what you've got there?
I think that's everybody's plan, to be honest, but we'll see.
We will see.
Listen, enjoy the rest of your week, mate. It's great to be back, obviously following you on this mad journey, and it's also great to be talking about an undisputed heavyweight title fight. We've not been able to do that for some time, have we? I did mention the documentary there. It is available, The Road to Undisputed. It's available on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus. Make sure you go and check it out. It's fantastic. We all contribute to it. He's in it as well, doing his thing. And I'm sure you're fully aware, he's got his own TV show on the station as well, hasn't he? Fight Lab. Go and check it out. Paul Craig's on there. And you actually go through your own fight on there. Not extensively giving away the game plan, but there's enough in there for people to enjoy with the intricacies of what Ciryl does.
There's a lot of secrets, mate, that I've left off. But it's still worth tuning in.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to sell it, mate. I'm trying to do the business for you. There you go. Anyway, make sure you stick around because me, Mike and Nick are going to get stuck into that main event. We're going to talk about the vacant strawweight title fight as well on this card at the weekend, and we're going to do the full main card, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Fight Week. We are in Abu Dhabi for UFC 321. I'm Adam Catterall, Nick Peets here, the Hall of Famer Michael Bisping here as well. If you've only just joined us, you've just missed the big man. That's right. Tom Aspinall has been and gone, which leads us nicely to actually talk about his fight whilst he's not in the room and give you a little bit of back and forth of how we think this might play out. We talked about pressure there with the big fella, and Nick's right in what he jumped in on. There's pressure on both of these guys. Obviously for Tom, the narrative of the last 12 months, but also for Ciryl. This is his third crack at undisputed status.
Third and final time, let's be honest. But there's a lot of pressure on Tom because it's been so long since he's been able to fight again. Obviously, we all know about the struggles and the interim title fight and John Jones and all the rest of it. That's all done. That's all in the rearview mirror. Now he gets to go forward and kind of create his own legacy, go down as maybe the greatest champion that the sport's ever seen. But he's got to get through Ciryl Gane first, and you can't overlook that. And as Tom said himself, Ciryl is very good. He's very big. He's very light on his feet, extremely agile, an extremely talented kickboxer. So there's a lot of threats there. Tom clearly does hit harder, whereas Ciryl, you know, as his dad said, he's kind of, I won't say a points fighter, but I understand the point that Andy Aspinall was making. Cyryl's going to be light on his feet. He's going to be dancing around, and Tom's going to have to catch him. He's going to have to cut off the cage, back him up against the fence. I think he's going to look to shoot. But, of course, all fights start on the feet, so he's going to have, you know, a lot of confidence in those hands. But you don't want to take too many risks because it only takes one shot, even though, you know, Andy says he's a point fighter. One good shot in the heavyweight division could be the end of the fight. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out, but I think Cyryl's going to dance around a lot early, and Tom's going to be trying to play a bit of cat and mouse, shall we say.
The two previous title defeats that Cyryl's had, both of those opponents, Francis and John, they had to grapple him. They had to wrestle with the guy, which just goes to show the level of where his striking's at. So it's going to be interesting to see in that first 2 to 3 minutes of this fight, Tom's decision making, what he actually wants to do and how he wants this to play out.
Yeah, and you've got to be careful you don't start second guessing yourself. You just got to stick to your game plan and do you, basically. And Tom, so far, has done exactly that. I don't see any reason why he won't do the same thing against Ciryl Gane. I think Ciryl, well, prior to Tom even joining the UFC, we talked about Ciryl Gane as being the next generation heavyweight because he moves like a middleweight. He dances on the balls of his feet. And then Tom came along and I'm like, oh, this guy's the same. But he's got a ground game to go with it. He's got the background in jiu-jitsu that Ciryl Gane hasn't got. So Tom kind of elevated up this next generation athlete. But I just think Ciryl is so dangerous in this fight because there is no tomorrow for Ciryl. There is no picking up the pieces on Sunday. His career basically is done if he doesn't win the title this time around. He won't be no fourth title shot. And he's already kind of dipping in and out of the sport with his acting and his other businesses aside from the sport as well. For me, this is his last shot, his last chance Saturday night. He's got 25 minutes to define his fighting legacy or it's done. And
I'm actually really curious to see Ciryl because let's be honest, this is the guy that turned Francis Ngannou into a wrestler. Mm-hmm. We all know about the punching power of Francis Ngannou. He went 5 rounds, he didn't get knocked out, and as I say, Francis had to wrestle to get that win. And then against John Jones about 2 years ago now, taken down and submitted very quickly. But the reason I'm curious is because unless Ciryl is an absolute fool, all he's been doing is working on takedown defense and getting back to his feet, working on wall walks, working on sweeps, working on getting all the best wrestlers he can possibly find and getting them to take him down and work on getting back to his feet. If he hasn't done that, then I'll say he's a fool because that's not what this fight's going to come down to only because fights start on the feet. But that's a big glaring weakness that he's had and a strength that Tom definitely has.
It can be done because we saw Francis do it in the second fight with Stipe. First time he got ragdolled all over the place.
Of course.
And then the takedown defense was there in order to keep the fight on the feet. And that's what you're referring to, aren't
All
you?
you've got to do is put the time and effort in and have the what's the word I'm looking for?
Desire?
the desire, but being the humility
Yeah.
to say, right, I've got to do this work. I've got to learn how to stop takedowns. I've got to spend a lot of time up against the fence, fighting for underhooks, working back off you from the ground back to your feet. It's a pain. No one enjoys doing it. Those kind of training camps are very, very grueling. That's what a lot of my training camps look like. Just all the time fighting wrestlers, trying to get back to my feet. It sucks. And then when you finally fight a striker, you're like, oh God, here we go. Now we get to have a fun training camp.
Yeah.
So has he got the humility and the wherewithal that's what he has to do? And if he does, which I assume that he has, this should be a very dangerous version of Ciryl Gane, which could cause problems for Tom.
Yeah. How big could this be for French MMA? We saw when this man won the title, what it did for British MMA and what fighters have gone on to go and do. How big could this be?
Well, there's no better place to watch the UFC right now than Paris. We know that.
Right.
The three of us have been the last couple of years. There's no atmosphere. Well, Mike knows better than anyone because he travels the world. There's no atmosphere, I believe, better than Paris on UFC Fight Night. It's incredible. So imagine if they had a guy with never mind, a champion, the heavyweight champion of the world. It would change the face of the sport over there. It would be, it's big now, it'd be absolutely gigantic, and it would inspire generations of French fighters to come into mixed martial arts because of what he's achieved. So, but Ciryl doesn't think like that. I know you spoke to him a couple of days ago. He doesn't think, his brain doesn't work like that. He's like, this is just for me. And now I think that's either a coping mechanism, because if you suddenly start thinking, wow, I'm basically representing all of France here and the pressure that comes with it. But he was determined to just keep, no, this is just about me. This is just about achieving my dream. Is that how you go with it, Mike? Because you're in a similar situation.
But it's a good pressure, knowing that there's a full country behind you and millions of people all cheering for you and you're representing them at the highest level. That will make you get out of bed in the morning and do those extra miles and push yourself to the limit and be disciplined with your diet, because you don't want to let these people down and you want to represent your country. You want to bring the belt home. I mean, the atmosphere at the Accor Arena is insane. Imagine he walks in now as the heavyweight champion. That's a lot of motivation, and especially then on the flip side, you've got Tom Aspinall that's knocking everyone out, can submit people, can take people down. That's also a lot of motivation. The number one motivation, part of my French, is not getting your arse kicked on international TV. You know what I mean? Not being separated from your consciousness, which we know Tom can do like that very, very easily. So that's number one motivation. Number two is not disappointing his people. And then you look at Ciryl Gane. He's a beast of a human being. He's just as big, if not bigger than Tom, and he's probably the only guy in the heavyweight division that's maybe even more agile, because that's always been Tom's strength. He's so light on his feet. He moves like a welterweight. He's the heavyweight George St. Pierre, whatever you want to call it. I've said all those things in the past. All of that applies to Ciryl, except he can't really grapple too well. Yeah, he's got a heel hook against, subpar competition, but he doesn't have the grappling. So it's an interesting fight, but I fully expect Tom to go out there, probably land on the feet, shoot a double leg takedown, get on top, and finish him with ground and pound.
And if that is the case, obviously we then bounce into 2026 looking for other opponents. How do you see this playing out over the next 12 months? And if it does play out how Tom was just saying, they're wanting 3 defences and he's successful right across the board, does that make him the greatest heavyweight of all time?
I mean, if you look at the numbers, Stipe Miocic defended the belt 3 times, so quote-unquote, he's the greatest of all time. I don't know if Stipe is the greatest heavyweight of all time. On paper, because of those numbers, yes. And if Tom was to surpass that, then obviously he would take that title. The thing is about Tom is when you look at the heavyweight division right now, it's not the most stacked, okay? When you look at former generations, people like Josh Barnett, Cain Velasquez, I mean, Fabrizio Verdum, the Nogueira brothers, we have Fedor Emelianenko, Mirko Krokop. There's so many legendary heavyweight fighters. There isn't that level of competition right now. However, the way that Tom's going through them kind of makes up for that. Because if he was going out there and getting decisions against these guys, then okay, whatever. But the fact that he's just blitzing them and putting them to sleep and just destroying them with relative ease, that makes up for the lower level of competition. So yeah, for sure, he's certainly already, I would say, top 5 in history, and a few more wins. Of course, you've got to go to number 1.
He's defined his legacy not necessarily by his opponents, but in a similar way to how Mike Tyson defined his legacy, just obliterating everybody and being this completely formidable monster. That's what Tom is doing now, and that's what he's trying to do into 2026. But we know, listen, there's names out there, there's guys outside of the UFC right now that could be huge if they were to come back in and fight against Tom. So this thing will play itself out. Tom will get the opportunity to become the greatest heavyweight of all time. It's just about him applying himself and keep delivering under this pressure, because the pressure only gets bigger. The weight of that belt only gets heavier, because right now, every single heavyweight on planet Earth with dreams of mixed martial arts glory is looking at one man. I've got to beat him. I've got to beat that guy. It's not the next contender. It's every heavyweight on the planet that's got a target on Tom's back.
Yeah, but that heavyweight pressure also brings in heavyweight championship checks.
Cha-ching.
For millions and millions of dollars, you know. So, yeah, he'll deal with the pressure just fine when he's sleeping in his bloody 10-bedroom mansion and driving around in a Rolls Royce or whatever it is that he has.
I could just imagine that
could you imagine?
Through Atherton.
I know. He could get one if he wanted to.
Listen, that's the main. Where the heavyweight championship is on the line. We've also got a vacant strawweight title on the line here as well. Weili's gone up. She's been absolutely fantastic in this division, and she's shooting a shot at glory against Shevchenko next month. Looking forward to that immensely, which leaves obviously two top contenders now having a go. Jandiroba, I think everybody would have said would have been next for Weili with her 5 straight victories in the division and looking very, very good. Mackenzie Dern's been one of them on the precipice of it, where is she going to get over the line? Is she going to win an eliminator? Is she going to get to the situation? I mean, her last 8, she's 4-4, Mike, so her record's all over the place, but she's won a couple recently, which puts her in a position now for the vacant title fight. It's a grappler heavy contest, would you say?
Yeah, well, they're both very good jiu-jitsu players. Mackenzie Dern always had a lot of hype around her ever since she came to the UFC. Obviously, with her jiu-jitsu credentials, she's very marketable, and she fights really well. I mean, look at that win she had over Angela Hill. That was a savage beatdown. And, of course, now she trains with Jason Perillo, so the boxing is catching up to the jiu-jitsu. Still a long way to go. She can wrestle a little bit as well, but, of course, the main strength is on the ground. Last time out against Amanda Ribas, which was another rematch. She got the armbar, I think it was the 3rd round, so you know, she's improving still all the time. I was talking to Jason Perillo. He said the boxing's really coming together. She's game. She's got a good chin. She swings. She's powerful. She's got the grappling. This is a rematch where she did win 5 years ago. It was a decision. Jandiroba's on a 5-fight win streak. She's a very good grappler. This will probably play out as to who can get top position, you know, and who's going to be more effective on the feet.
Yeah. I caught up with Jandiroba. She was a really sweet kid, and just speaking to her and seeing where she's coming from, she got a lot of emotion coming into this fight. You know, she comes from a very small town in Brazil, and there's no other famous fighters from that town, but she stayed loyal to that town, to her team, to her coaches, and she was talking about the enormity of taking a belt back there and what that would mean, and this whole her life building to this point. And it's an added bonus for her, she says, that it's a rematch because she wants that one back. It's a fight that she thought she was going to win first time around. So I think Mackenzie Dern's kind of got it a bit quite surprising, but as Mike says, she's incredibly marketable across multiple continents, and that's probably helped her opportunity. But I think it's a tough over 25 minutes for her to stay at the pace that I think Jandiroba can set.
Yeah, that's your co-main event. The vacant strawweight title is on the line for that. We're going to talk Umar Nurmagomedov bouncing back after his first career loss next on the show. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Fight Week on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus. We're in Abu Dhabi for UFC 321. Nick Pete's here, as is the Hall of Famer, Mr. Michael Bisping. I'm Adam Catterall. It's a pleasure to be with you. We are nearly done. We have got a very interesting fight in the flyweight division because Umar Nurmagomedov is coming into this fight, Mike, having lost for the first time in his professional career. All right, it's a title fight against Merab Dvalishvili, and they've thrown him in with a top contender coming through, a guy that has got a bit of hype now about him in Mario Bautista. 8-fight win streak. Interesting matchup, this one.
Bautista is the most underrated guy on the UFC roster. Does not get the credit he deserves, even though he's on an 8-fight win streak and he's beaten Patchy Mix in his debut when everyone was like, oh, Patchy Mix is going to take over. He beat Jose Aldo back in the day as well. You know, kind of controversially, but even still, a win over Jose Aldo is very impressive. But still, I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves. If he beats Umar Nurmagomedov, of course, maybe the guy's next in line for a title shot. But when you look at Nurmagomedov, he was 15-0. He was undefeated until he met Merab. And what happened? He kind of got tired, okay? He was winning the first round. The wrestling looked sensational. He was taking him down. Looked like Merab was in for a long night. And then, of course, Merab does what Merab does. Slowly took over the fight and won a decision. Don't tell me that Khabib Nurmagomedov didn't get back to Dagestan and go absolutely mental at Umar Nurmagomedov. That's just the kind of coach that he is. You know, he really gets in his fighters' faces. He really gives it to them. He doesn't pull any punches. So you know for a fact that Umar is coming into this one ridiculously ready, okay? With cardio through the roof, going to the next level. Problem is for him, he was going up against Merab, who's not a normal human being. He's just an absolute psychopath that jumps into frozen legs head first and still walks away to tell the tale. Bautista, doesn't really have a glaring skill set that really stands out. Like when you look at Umar, it's the wrestling, of course, and of course he can kick and punch and all the rest of it. Whereas Bautista's kind of a good all-rounder. He's got a good takedown defense. He's got a lot of experience. He's on an 8-fight win streak. It's an interesting matchup.
It's a tough matchup for Bautista, of course it is, but he's got the lottery ticket in this bantamweight division because anyone with aspirations of a title shot, which is everybody, who do you want to face? You want to fight the guy that's just lost the title fight because you beat him, you're automatically in the conversation now. And Merab is running through these opponents twice over. So if Bautista gets a win, he's pretty much guaranteed the next title shot because he's fresh meat for Merab. So for him, it's a free shot at the top of the tree. This is their town. You know what I mean? The Russians run wild in Abu Dhabi. They love it. They love them here. Whereas Bautista's just walking around the hotel, having a coffee, keeping it cool, just staying right under the radar. And I think that will suit him down to the ground. He's at a really good gym, MMA lab, really good coach, John Crouch.
Benson Henderson, ton of experience to draw on there.
That gym, they've been to the top of the mountain. They know what it takes. And they believe they've got a new champion in this kid. And this could be the opportunity he's been waiting for.
And not to mention, Merab's defending the belt every 5 minutes.
Exactly.
So both guys, I mean, he's fighting Piotr Jan at the end of the year. So Merab's making history with 4 defenses. We all know about that. But he wants to fight again in March, apparently. He wants to turn it around super quick. So Umar or Bautista are looking at a title fight if, of course, Merab gets through Piotr Jan, and that's a big if. You can't forget about Piotr Jan, but the point I'm making is it's right there for both of them to get a title fight and for Umar to get a second chance.
I think it's a great matchup. It's also a great matchup in the heavyweight division because we've got Alexander Volkov, who you spoke to this week. Bit annoyed still, isn't he?
He's a big dude, man.
He is a big lad, but he's also annoyed at the result that he got in the Ciryl Gane fight. He believes that he should be the guy that's in the title fight this weekend, and he's taking on another top contender in Jason Almeida. Just give us a little bit on that insight that you got from Volkov, because there is a little bit of spite there in what he was saying.
Absolutely, because he said it got to the end of the fight against Ciryl Gane, and there was no doubt in my mind I'd won the fight. I was convinced. And when I stood there, and Bruce Buffer said Cyryl's name, and then I looked and seen, I was expecting my arm to go up, and when it didn't go up, I'm like, and he said, for a moment I thought, they've got it wrong. They're going to have to sort that. That he genuinely thought they got the scores wrong. He said, so I come away, and I was like, they robbed it from me, they've taken it away from me. So he's really, absolutely fired up, motivated. He's got a beautiful mane of blonde hair now, right down his back. He looks like Legolas from Lord of the Rings or whatever. This is a new version. And he's determined to get his shot at Tom Aspinall or Ciryl Gane this weekend.
Yeah, and when you look at Jailton Almeida, though, this man is, I mean, he's a force of nature. Look at the wrestling ability that he has. He's absolutely jacked. He's extremely powerful. I think it's the one loss that he's got on his record to Curtis Blades because of those elbows there, because he committed to the takedown too long. But he's finishing guys. Finished Sergey Spivac. I forget the last person he went up against, but that was a finish as well. The man is not to be taken lightly. And when you look at it stylistically, Volkov is very, very tall. Tom says he's not 6'7", he's 6'9", he's gigantic. Whatever it is, he's very big. Jailton's much more compact. He's still about 6'2". He's not a small guy, but the style that he has. So it's kind of a big clash because he's going to get on the inside, and that's going to take away all the reach and the range that Volkov has. He's going to push him up against the fence, try and grab those legs, pick him up and put him down. If he does that, Jailton Almeida could very much be next in line.
Earlier on in his career, though, Almeida, I know that he's got brilliant jiu-jitsu credentials. Earlier on in his career, he was knocking people out, wasn't he?
Knocked everybody out. Before he came into the UFC, he was icing everybody. But he started as a welterweight, believe it or not. It's a Rumble Johnson job. He started as a welterweight.
In reverse.
Came into the UFC at light heavyweight and then blows up to heavyweight. And yeah, he isn't the biggest guy. But just look at the sport of boxing right now. Alexander Usyk ain't the biggest guy, but he's wiped the floor with all the big guys.
And look at what he did to Derek Lewis. He took him down and basically had him in mount for 25 minutes. And I think he learned from that because he should have finished Derek Lewis in that fight. He was able to take him down time after time after time with relative ease and get mount position. And I was a little frustrated because I was calling that one. However, the fact that he was able to do that so frequently and so easily against Derek Lewis that has got a lot of experience, that is very, very impressive. And I think that's going to be the strategy here against Volkov, and probably a successful strategy.
Kicking off the main card, we've got the light heavyweights on deck. Alexander Rakic, who's been bang out of form, lost his last 3, hasn't got a win since March 2021. And he's taking on Azamat Mirzakhanov, who's a bit of a mystery, really, still in the division.
15-0.
Yeah, but
11 knockouts, 1 submission.
He keeps getting these fights booked, big name fights, and then pulling out of them. This is kind of his first real test, real proper step up in the UFC.
Yeah, when you look at Rakic, who I love, by the way, he's very, very exciting. He's an awesome human being, and I always root for him. He lost to Yuri Prochazka, he lost to Magomed Ankalaev, and the one against Blachowicz, he blew his knee out in like the second or third round, so it was kind of a freaky situation.
It was only Yuri that finished him, and he was actually ahead in that fight as well.
Yeah,
when Yuri went berserker.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, but that's what he does, doesn't he? You know what I mean? Look at the fight he just had against Khalil. It was mental. But when you look at Mirzakhanov, he's light on the feet. He's used to dealing with these guys that are taller, because Rakic does have a reach advantage. He's light on the feet. He's got big power. As I said, he's got 11 knockouts, 15-0, undefeated. Just when you look at that form compared to Rakic losing his last 3, you know, it's a tough spot for Alexander Rakic.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because Mirzakhanov, there's a lot of hype about Mirzakhanov, isn't there? And like I said, he's had these fights booked. He keeps pulling out these fights. This is a level test now to see where he's at in the UFC and whether he can punch his ticket towards title contention.
Because he's looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
But he just hasn't managed to break that top 10, top 15. This is the chance now. This is a guy whose background is a master in Russian hand-to-hand combat. Multi-award winning. He's been coached by apparently the guy that designed that sport, if you like, or designed that martial art. So his skill set is phenomenal. But it's all good and well beating guys outside the top 10, top 15. Can you do it against the best in the world? And Rakic is, even though he's lost his last 3, still number 7 ranked in the division. Why? Because the 3 people he's lost against are 3 of the best guys in the sport. So this is a major test for him. Rakic is in a good place, by the way. Rakic is no longer ATT. He's gone back home. He's living in Austria full time, but he's travelling over to Serbia to coach with a load of Serbian killers over there, as he describes them. Says he's got a great team around him. And he said this is going to be the new version of Alexander Rakic. And I hope he's right, because I'm like Mike. I root for the guy. I like him a lot.
He's a very likeable guy. He's a big guy. He's 6'3". He's got beautiful box. He's got a lot of power, a lot of experience as well. And yeah, losing those 3 fights, you always improve when you lose fights, because if you still want to do this and you want to be successful, you got to right the wrongs. You got to be honest with yourself. You got to sit down. You got to assess what went right, what went wrong. And there were certainly a few things that went wrong. So I expect Alexander Rakic to be at his most dangerous. But on the flip side, Mirzakhanov, he's beaten this kind of style before. Look at Dustin Jacoby, a very tall kickboxer, former Glory champ, and he was able to beat him on the feet primarily as well. So it's a fun fight to kick off the main card.
There you go. And that is the fight that is kicking off the main card, and that gets going from 5 p.m. I say 5 p.m. That's prelims, really. Main card gets going from 7, but you can come and join us from 5 p.m. On TNT Sport Box Office. Come and get stuck in for UFC 321. Of course, we've got that vacant title fight in the co-main, but it's all about the main event. The heavyweight championship of the world is on the line. Tom Aspinall, the undisputed champion, defending against Ciryl Gane. We'll see you there.
All right, folks, here we go for the undisputed UFC heavyweight title. First fighter to the scale, former interim champion and the #1 ranked contender, Kamaru Usman. .247.5, the official weight for Ciryl Gane. And his opponent, none other than the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC heavyweight champion, Tom Aspinall. .255, the official weight for Tom Aspinall. Abu Dhabi, I am here with the challenger, Ciryl Gane. Physically, you look great. Mentally, you're sharp. Your 3rd crack at the undisputed title tomorrow. What can these fans expect to see?
Yeah. Very glad to be here, guys. See you Saturday. Thank you.
Ciryl Gane, folks. All right, and now the man of the hour, the undisputed champ, Tom Aspinall. I know you're very happy. The talk is finally over, and you can get back to fighting. Any final thoughts for your supporters here and around the world?
This is going to be a very special performance tomorrow night, guys. Make sure you tune in. This is big.
There he is, folks. Tom Aspinall. Abu Dhabi, thank y'all for coming out. One more sleep. We'll see you tomorrow night. All right, folks, here we go for the Undisputed Strawweight Championship of the World. Vina Kakara-James-Inova versus Mackenzie Dern. First athlete to the stage, the number 5 ranked contender, Mackenzie Dern. Official weight 115 for Mackenzie Dern. And her opponent is the number 1 ranked title contender, Vina Kakara-James-Inova. The official weight for Kakara, Vina James-Inova. All right, we will first grab a minute here with Mackenzie Dern. Congratulations. I know this title fight has been a long time coming. You have never lost with your daughter Moa in the building, and she is here. What are your thoughts on the eve of the biggest fight of your life?
I feel ready. I feel ready. It's going to be an amazing fight. I think we're going to show that there's going to be a new queen of strawweight. I've never lost a fight with Moa with me in the crowd, so I don't plan on doing that tomorrow.
Can't wait to watch you perform. How about it, folks? Mackenzie Dern. All right, we now step over here and corral the number 1 contender, Vina James-Inova. Rematch, of course, against Mackenzie Dern. What is going to be different here tomorrow night?
Então, na verdade, tudo já é diferente. Eu já sou uma Vina diferente e, consequentemente, vocês verão uma luta diferente amanhã, no sábado.
Yeah, everything is different. You know, it's been 5 years. I think we both developed a lot, but I believe that I'm in the best moment of my life, and everything is going to be different come Saturday night.
Official weight 135.5 for Mario Bautista. And his opponent, the number 2 ranked Bantamweight contender, recent world title challenger, Umar Nurmagomedov. $136, the official weight for Umar Nurmagomedov.
I think it's the most ignorant thing that somebody can say.
It's crap or bust now. You either do it or you don't.
We have to stop doubting this guy. This guy's the problem.
The main man. Really walking past, mate. Boring. Boring content, that, mate. How's it going? Nice to see you. Oh, sorry, mate.
Oh, all right, yeah, all good.
Right.
Good luck.
Oh, thank you. Once school's finished.
Who do you think's under more pressure when you get stuck right into it? Obviously, Tom, this is the first undisputed heavyweight title defence, and all the narrative that has gone along with that with John Jones, so there's pressure there.
Yeah.
But this is Cyrill's 3rd attempt, man. He's fallen.
You don't get 4.
He's fallen short on 2 occasions. So who's under more pressure, Tom or Ciryl?
To have a 3rd shot at the heavyweight title, this is it. It's crap or bust now. You either do it or you don't. And his career is staring down the avenue of acting and go and do something else with your life. That's how brutal it is with Ciryl Gane. I truly believe that. But then the flip side of that is the expectation for Tom to do what Tom does. The expectation to live up to what John Jones did against Ciryl Gane. That is a different kind of pressure, because even if this fight goes into round 2 and round 3, There will already be people on social media criticising Tom Aspinall and his performance. Oh, look at this. Ciryl Gane took him into round 3. John Jones got rid of him in 1. Tell everything I needed to know. John Jones would have battered him. There's that kind of pressure as well. And even though Tom won't admit to that, I know deep inside Tom wants to send a bit of a message. He wants the world to know, look what I've just done.
I don't think there's anybody better at range and movement than Ciryl Gane in this heavyweight division. But that range, well, the way I'll caveat that is range and movement, I think he's on the side of Ciryl. Pressure and speed, which are different attributes, are on the side of Tom Aspinall. There's loads of people watching all our stuff that we're going to be bringing in from Abu Dhabi this week, right? And everybody in their head, especially British fight fans, will be thinking, Tom's doing him in a round. Tom's doing him in a round. He'll just take him down and he'll do this, and he'll just take him down and do that.
What if he doesn't?
What if he stuffs the first takedown? Then we've got a fight on our hands, haven't we?
Yeah.
Si, on va jouer. Bah, j'avais pas le choix, moi. Non, je parle de François, Ah, tu joues à quoi, toi? Il va pousser. Tu vas faire ça en venait de se connaître.
Mr. Gane, how are you? Good. Mind your head on this microphone up, please. What is the challenge that you see in Tom Aspinall? Where are the main challenges on Saturday night?
This is a new breed like me, like the people like to say. He's really fast, really technical, well-rounded. He's a smart guy, tactically, with his father and coach. And that's why I'm really excited, because I'm a huge fighter also. I got a good coaches, and it's going to be really interesting to see how we're going to manage this.
You've not faced anything like Tom. Tom's not faced anything like you.
Exactly.
And those silhouettes coming together on Saturday night, I think, could bring a beautiful fight.
Yeah, and I hope it's going to be a huge fight, a huge dog fight for the fan. Really.
Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Pleasure, my friend. Thank you, guys. Pleasure.
Cyryl's superb as always, man. Enjoy your week, sir.
Thank
you for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Paul. How are you, mate? Good to see you. How's it going?
Thank you.
You know what I mean? That's why. I'm back in again. How are you doing, mate? You good? That's right.
The notion that I train for 1 minute fights it's outrageous. Like, I think it's the most ignorant thing that somebody can say is like, he's got no cardio, he's not good over this many rounds and stuff. Look, just because you've not seen it doesn't mean it's not possible. I train hard every day, and if I need to, we'll go there, but hopefully I won't need to.
This is his third shot at the UFC title. I can't recall anyone that's had 4. So if he doesn't win it this time, he's kind of, he's back to the back of a long queue, almost. Does that make him more dangerous?
He's not getting another one, is he? Let's be honest. 3, you're not going to get 4. No, you're lucky to get even 1, never mind 3. So I'm expecting him. His back's against the wall. This is when people are the most dangerous. This is the hardest camp that he's ever going to have put in.
The temptation to stand and trade with this guy and knock him out is great, because we all love that feeling. However, the safest path to victory would be to shoot him, take him down, just like John Jones did, just like Francis Ngannou did. I'm not expecting you to give your game plan away, but how long is it going to take you till you shoot?
It sounds like you're expecting me to give it away, but we'll see. It's an MMA fight, and I would imagine, especially because he got beat so easily against John Jones, he's going to have worked on his grappling a lot in the last kind of 2-3 years. So he's a very big, very athletic guy. His body awareness is really good. He positions himself really well in the cage. But listen, whatever's available, I will take it.
Listen, enjoy the rest of your week, mate.
Thanks, mate. Right, thanks, mate.
See you later.
Who wins and how? Thinking Aspinall, first round knockout. I think he'll get it done early.
Ciryl Gane by knockout, I think in the second round.
I think Tom Aspinall is going to defend his belt amazingly. He's going to show a masterclass.
Tom Aspinall, first round submission.
He's going to rugby tackle him and submit him.
Well, I've only seen Tom Aspinall in his documentary. From what I've seen, I think he's going to beat him within a minute and 40 seconds.
Because that's how he beats everybody.
Yes. So
Did you enjoy the documentary?
I loved it, actually. He's a really good guy. So
Did you enjoy my bits in the documentary?
I did. I do recognise you. And Andy, I recognise Andy.
What's up, guys? You good?
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Good to see you.
And you, sir? Do you want to clap there?
Yep.
All good?
All good.
Cool. This one at the weekend's probably even more romantic for British fight fans because obviously we've got a guy in the main event and it's the heavyweight championship of the world. No disrespect to any other champions, but there's something, again, quite romantic about the heavyweight championship.
I agree, and Aspinall and Ciryl Gane is a very interesting fight for both guys. You know, Aspinall is supposed to be the future of the heavyweight division. He's going to have to get through Ciryl Gane first, and for Gane, you know, there was a point in time when it looked like he might be the future of the heavyweight division. So a lot on the line for both of these guys this weekend, and I'm excited to see how this thing plays out.
You're a top man.
Always
Thank you.
a pleasure, my
Thank
friend.
you, buddy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, boys.
Appreciate that.
I am happy to let the fight play out completely organically. Whatever comes available, I will take it, and I will try my best to get the finish.
Tom came to France that time. Are you glad that you're finally fighting Aspinall in the fight of the new heavyweight generation?
Yeah, finally, we are both too, yeah.
They're booing him because the Paris crowd booed Tom. The Manchester lads are getting their own back.
That's fair. That's fair.
Tom, DC was caught on the mic saying that no heavyweight can beat you. What's it like getting praise from Daniel Cormier, and do you agree that you can go on a generational run at heavyweight?
Listen, heavyweight MMA is the most dangerous, unpredictable division in the whole sport. So I feel like I'm the best, but I've still got a lot to prove yet, so I'm looking to do that.
He's took his shades off.
Big lad, Ciryl.
Yeah, he is. He's as big as Tom. He's as tall as Tom.
The sun is shining in Abu Dhabi. It is weigh-in day for UFC 321. I'm Adam Cattrall. Pleasure as always to be in your company. And check this out. The best dressed man in MMA has joined us, the Nigerian nightmare, the one and only Mr. Kamaru Usman. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for having me, guys.
Let's talk about this main event then, shall we? And let's talk about this heavyweight that is currently the undisputed champion. What have you made of Tom Aspinall currently in the UFC?
Yeah, first of all, just the matchup in itself, I think is very special because you are having the two best heavyweights in the world stepping in there. And Tom Aspinall is something special. I have to be honest here and admit that early on, I kind of doubted it a bit because you see him getting these 2-minute, 1-minute finishes, and you're like, okay, well, is that the best wrestler? Is that the hardest hitter? Is that the fastest guy? To where it was like the next fight, and then the next fight, and then the next fight, and I'm like, okay, wait, let's take a look here, and let me be honest as a wrestler, but someone like Tom Aspinall, to be that size, to be that quick, and to be able to mix it up the way that he does, it is something special. And I said it before his last fight. I said, we have to stop doubting this guy. This guy is the problem.
Here we go. Right on cue. Here is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Mr. Aspinall.
You can even see how Tom's physicality has changed.
Yeah. 255 pounds. Are they
255.
He's got some abs there, hasn't he? What's he doing? He's been doing a bit of work as the boy, hasn't he?
The body fat percentage is low there as well. Come on,
Good morning, this is Andy. Andy Aspinall.
Good morning, sir.
We've just been speaking about your lad there, obviously. He's looking body beautiful on the old scales there, isn't he?
Yeah. What was the body fat percentage? Any idea? Because 255, but there was nothing on him.
11%
body fat.
Yeah.
Listen, we've spent a lot of time putting together the documentary for Tom, which is on TNT Sports now, and it's getting a lot of traction. But one thing I noticed when I watched it back, Andy, other than me and you being fantastic, by the way, was Tom loves to shed a tear, doesn't he?
Nice.
He's quite emotionless. He's quite cold during fight weeks and during fight camp. But after he wins inside that octagon, the outpouring of emotion from him, like last 3 or 4 fights, he always bursts into tears, and you think, wow, you've built it up so much inside you.
There's a
but
lot.
on fight night, it just comes gushing out.
Yeah, I think he's. You say, are you nervous before a fight? He'll know if he's nervous, and he'll say, I'm not. You don't know if he is or not.
Yeah.
And Tom's always exactly the same. I don't know if he's the most nervous he's ever been, but how do you justify nervousness?
Yeah.
Is it excitement? Is it the same? It's just a word.
Yeah.
You know, is he excited to go and ready to go, and it's ready to burst and ready to, you know, it's just being careful in the first bit of the fight. And after that, I think he's just very, very, very good at what he does.
What are the emotions like for you? Because you're not only his head coach, you're also his dad.
My emotions?
Yeah.
I'm old. And I've had lots of things happen in my life that are a lot worse than the fight. So I just think it's just another day. You know, I go to bed at night, and if I get up in the morning, it's really good. And if I can get to bed at night again, it's really good. and he's just going to have a fight on Saturday.
Interim heavyweight champion and the #1 ranked contender, Ciryl Gane.
See where Cyril's at, who looks in great shape, by the way.
He always does.
That's how I look.
Yeah, me too.
And he's not lying either.
Yeah. That's how I look, honestly.
247.5.
Yeah, he has to deliver here, and I'm glad he's in that kind of shape.
England versus France. Aspinall versus Gane, the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. The baddest man on the planet will be crowned. Make sure you come and join us from 5 o'clock on TNT Sports Box Office. From us here in Abu Dhabi, thank you very much for your time. We'll see you at the fights.
Curtis Blades has been around the top 5 longer than most. Can he slow down the Brit tonight?
Tom said he's going to push the action.
I made a mission to myself after the knee injury. I decided I'm going to go all in, or I'm going to retire.
There is Tom Aspinall making his UFC debut.
Oh! What a finish!
Still all the rage!
And I decided to go all in. I wanted to be UFC heavyweight champion.
Oh, nice elbow. So the moment has arrived for Thomas Paul Aspinall. First UFC championship opportunity. Oh! Tom Aspinall! Whoa! That's to do it! Tom Aspinall has done it! He is the UFC interim heavyweight champion of the world! The UK has a heavyweight champion!
Listen, if you ever get the chance to do something and you're scared to do it, you should definitely do it, because there's a chance it's going to pay off.
He's the man. He's the heavyweight champion of the world, and he is the baddest man on the planet.
I make decisions at really good times.
There it is, look at that. It's all Tom Aspinall.
I'm a UFC champion. Mission accomplished. Now it's just about legacy.